Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat. The show is about to begin.
Presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon. Joined as always by my wildly handsome co-host, John Luke Garofalo. Our friend Coop with us, aka Coop A. Fiasco. What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. It is Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. I'm your host, Simon, joined by my co-host, John Luke Garofalo. What's up, JL?
Yeah, the boys are back, Simon.
Doing all right today?
Boys are back. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I like when a nice little insult slipped in there at the end. So
I'm sorry, I just realized what shirt you were wearing.
I see what you're doing. How you doing this morning, Simon?
I'm doing all right. It's Super Bowl week, John Luke. Getting ready for the game this weekend. It feels bizarre that the NFL is going to be done entirely, but
it feels like it just started.
They give you a little bit of practice during the playoffs, right? Like this time period is practice for the off season,
right?
Like it's like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, it's off season light. It's diet off season.
We're sitting here and like there's not really much to talk about. Like we've got only the biggest game of the year left, but honestly, there's a lot less to talk about now than there is every other week of the
one
season.
Game.
Exactly.
We're used to talking what 9, 10, 13
million?
games, a million games,
a maximum amount of 16 games if there are no bye weeks. One could say a maximum.
Yeah, right.
We got some people in the chat ready to hang out with us today. NKC over here. So this day I'm going to be amazing. And where's the other guy? I'm glad you're going to be amazing. And the other guy had a bit of an orange juice fiasco. It wasn't cooperative.
Everywhere.
God, he thought he had it tamed. And there was an unruly carton just disobeyed at the last second.
I think what the issue was is he is expecting Sunny D, but his wife clearly only got orange juice. Tampico, yeah. So very disappointed. Coop, of course, threw a tantrum, just threw that orange juice against the wall. I'm sorry, Kate. I'm sorry I have to deal with that.
We were a Tampico household growing up, so I don't know how to handle that Sunny D if it's what shows up in front of me.
I have no idea what Tampico is. I just backed you up.
It's like off-brand Sunny D.
Kind of sounds like Topo Chico. Is it related?
Unrelated entirely.
Just
one word. We got Tommy in here with a rhyme for us. As it is Wednesday, my dudes, and we are halfway there to wings and chips and an ice cold beer and an epic battle between Mahomes and Hurts. I miss football so much. Oh man, it hurts. But I always have the crew to help cheer me up. Yo, Simon, Coop, JL, what's up? What's up, Tommy?
Oh, bad news, Tommy. Coop had an orange juice fiasco.
As you may have heard.
Everybody's talking about it. I don't know if you heard it.
Craig and you said, good morning. FYF hump day fact is that grizzly bears have a hump.
Really? Where?
Like in their back, like a camel? Like the same kind of hump as a camel, like with fat? Or like, is Craig saying like, oh, they got a hump? You should see that grizzly bear hump. Oh, he got a hump, man.
That grizzly got a hump on him.
And Tommy in here said, hey, Mom, where's the Sunny D?
I don't know, son.
Thanks, Mom. Craig said, did you like that, Mommy?
No, I did not. No.
And Craig said, yes, on their back, like a camel, sort of. Well, interesting.
Wonder who figured that out. Who was like, hey, bear, come here.
They probably couldn't. The first person to find out a grizzly bear had a hump was unable to tell anyone.
Yeah, they're like, oh, wow, that's interesting.
Grizzly bears have a hump.
Oh, dead.
It actually took 30 people to discover it until it became science knowledge, until it was able to
wow, that guy looked curious right before he died, huh?
Guys, it is that time of morning. We're going to talk some news. We're going to talk some topics, some stories. You guys just got to bring something to eat. Bring your own breakfast. It is BYOB. John Luke, you got anything for breakfast this morning?
I have these goldfish, but I wasn't eating them for breakfast.
You just have them?
I just have them here because I was eating them yesterday as a snack.
That's fair. That's fair. I have some M&Ms on my desk, but I wasn't eating those for breakfast either. Might I? Maybe. But was I? No. Have you ever had the cookie M&Ms?
No.
The inside is like a chocolate chip cookie on the inside of the M&M. They're like normal sized M&Ms. They're just a little bit rounder, more rotund.
More like a basketball?
More like a basketball, and less like a
M&M.
Like an M&M.
All right, Simon, let me ask you this because I don't think I know the answer. Are you a peanut guy, a peanut M&M guy, a no peanut M&M guy, or a no M&M guy?
Can I answer a different answer that is a different type of M&M?
No.
No?
No.
I prefer peanut or regular M&Ms over peanut M&Ms. I don't dislike peanut M&Ms. I'll eat them happily, but I prefer regular M&Ms. The best M&M is the mini M&M. The shell to chocolate ratio
along the way.
It was the M&Ms you made along the way. Were the M&M stores you visited along the way were the real M&Ms. The mini M&M is the superior M&M. The shell to chocolate ratio is undefeated. It's the best.
The reason I forced you into having to choose between at least those three was because I feel like that tells you a lot about a person. At least like peanut butter or non-peanut butter when you're forced to choose. Sorry, peanut M&M versus non-peanut M&M.
Okay.
If you're forced to choose. And then I threw in the third option just in case because some people are like, I don't need M&Ms.
They're like, what?
I don't need M&Ms.
Who doesn't like if you don't eat M&Ms, you're just like, oh well actually I studied abroad in France and they stick up their nose at American chocolate. After refining my palate on European chocolate, I'm gonna be honest. M&Ms taste a little bit like dog shit to me. Not to be rude to Americans who like chocolate, but
just straight dog shit.
Just straight dog shit.
Tommy said, love the peanut ones. And Craig said peanut butter and caramel M&Ms are good. I have not tried caramel. I'm going to have to do that.
I haven't either. I've had the peanut butter ones, and they're delicious. They're like bigger Reese's Pieces.
I'm a big caramel guy.
Big caramel guy. You ever make your own caramel?
Is that appropriate to say?
I think so. I mean, it depends on the conversation we're having, probably.
Big caramel guy.
NKC, and he was saying, you guys scared me to death. Whoopsie. Was it with reenacting getting attacked by a grizzly bear after discovering they had a hump?
Or something else?
Or my take on M&Ms. NKC hates M&Ms.
Just absolutely. Just terrified.
As soon as we
what up?
Ah.
What's up, gang?
What up?
What's up, Coop?
Did you clean up all the orange juice off the wall?
Yeah. I'm sorry I'm late. My wife bought Sunny D said orange juice. So
you're listening.
Had to punish her. What? Listen to what?
I mean, nothing. It's all scripted.
Welcome in, Coop.
We guys talking about orange juice earlier?
We were talking about orange juice. We were talking a little bit about
unrelated.
You could say
totally
that.
unrelated.
Yeah. You could say that.
One of the number one causes of domestic violence in this country.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Orange juice, and well, actually, orange. It's not orange juice. It's accidentally buying Sunny D instead of orange juice, which isn't orange juice, as we all know. But anyway,
more of a gold color.
Yeah, it's more of an orange drink.
Orange drink, gold juice,
orange Julius.
Yeah, are there people out there that like Sunny D better than orange juice?
I mean, it depends what I'm in the mood for. Like if it's 95 degrees outside and I'm hiking and someone hands me a cold Sunny D or a cold glass of like fresh squeezed orange juice, I'm going to take the Sunny D. Give me some of those extra sugars. Get me none of that pulp.
For me, it's whether or not I want to pretend to be healthy.
Which one's healthier?
I mean, orange juice just feels more healthier.
It does, but there's still a lot of sugar in orange juice.
Yeah, that's what people say, but I don't know if I believe them.
Do you think there's an individual out there that both likes Sunny D better than orange juice and likes Yoo-Hoo better than milk?
Oh, definitely.
I like Yoo-Hoo better than milk.
Really? Yoo-Hoo, well, you guys
I don't like either.
Animal products, right?
Jill's vegetarian, non-vegan, so he'll drink some milk. And I eat animal products. I just can't eat dairy because it,
messes with the old Tommy Trembles.
That's fair.
So Yoo-Hoo does me a little better.
Foreshadowing.
It's water.
I thought you were trying to figure out a way to say that wouldn't be really embarrassing, and instead you went way over the other direction.
And reenacting it with you.
I thought you were taking a moment to come up with a softer way to present that.
Oh, it's pretty soft.
About as soft as it can get.
Yeah, not much softer than when I drink a glass of milk.
Usually when somebody takes that moment, they're choosing the words carefully. Instead, you didn't even choose words.
Coop, you know what? I did both. I chose that carefully. That was with intention that noise came out.
Very carefully calculated. Good.
Last night, some sports history was made. You're probably already aware. It's not NFL, but we got to talk a little bit about it. LeBron James broke the NBA all-time scoring record, surpassing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He needed 36 points last night to do it, and he did it. Number 1 all-time leading scorer until Abdul-Jabbar comes out of retirement to take it back.
Of course, which is the next logical step in the sequence here.
Got it. The craziest part of the whole thing is that apparently people didn't think he was going to do it tonight. And the tickets for the Thursday game versus the Bucks were crazy expensive, going for like $70,000. So, ouch.
Oh no! Did somebody buy a $70,000 ticket for the game after he beat the record?
I think some people might have, but the thing is, if you're buying a $70,000 ticket, you got money to spare. So
maybe
not. Yeah, I don't feel bad.
Everything.
I don't feel bad for the people that bought $70,000 tickets. I feel bad for the people that bought like $800 last row tickets. Because some of those people are probably like, "This is my last $800, but I'm seeing this game."
True.
I'm gonna watch him break that record. I'm gonna watch him do it. No, it's pretty wild, the career that LeBron James has had. And just for fun, go to Google, everybody, and type in LeBron James and see what it does. It is so much fun. They had fun with it this morning. Nice little celebration.
Yeah, look at the crowns, the Basquiat crowns. Very
Isn't
nice.
that fun? I love a little Google celebration.
I like that.
I wish that was my job. Like I was on that specific team that just shows, what can we do today that is dumb, but it's going to be a ton of fun.
It's going to make Simon giggle at 6 a.m. in the morning.
That's kind of what your job is already, though.
I know. That is 100% what my job is.
Now, on the LeBron James versus Michael Jordan discussion, which inevitably always comes up.
Why is that?
Yeah, people just love the GOAT talk. They love a little GOAT chatter. And I don't know.
A little blah.
Yeah. I like, for me, it used to always be like LeBron. I'm like, Michael Jordan was basically in the same category as like Wayne Gretzky, and like if you're talking just wide receivers, Jerry Rice. We're like, they're on this pedestal and no one's even close, right? But now I look at it, and at least LeBron, to me, he's on the same pedestal. And it's hard to really judge their careers while one is still playing at a high level, right? So I don't know, there's still a discussion to be had, but at the very least, we can no longer sit here and be like, it's Wayne Gretzky and nobody else, right? Like it's Michael Jordan and nobody else. LeBron has to be in that discussion now. No.
Yeah, I think he's been in the conversation. I don't think this puts him in the conversation. I think he's been in the conversation firmly.
But it adds
it definitely
adds
adds
a little tick mark. It adds a little tick mark, just even if it was only 36 more points on the grand scale of like over 38,000, that really shouldn't matter. But being number 1, another, I'm the best there ever was in this category. I'm the best there ever was in this category. Right. Helps make that argument a little bit easier for the people arguing on that side. But it's also not going to convince those 36 additional points to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar aren't going to convince anybody who thought Michael Jordan was the GOAT that LeBron James is now the GOAT. I don't think anyone switched their mind last night.
I don't know. I bet some people did.
I think so.
I did.
Just last night you switched?
Yep. There's 36 points.
That did it.
Coop,
that was
Coop,
this 36
Coop
we needed.
turns his camera up, and that's Michael Jordan up top now, not Michael. That's LeBron James up top now, not Michael Jordan.
I crudely pasted LeBron's head over the top. I really should have just put like a beard on there.
That would be
I don't know. All I know is that like basketball purists, I'm a football guy, so like I'm not gonna weigh too heavily into one side or the other of this debate. But one thing I do know is that basketball purists kind of need to get their story straight here, because we sit back and say, oh, it's all about rings. And then people were like, well, Bill Russell has 11. And he's like, no, not those rings. Just like Michael's rings, right? Versus LeBron's rings. And then they're like, oh, well, James Harden doesn't play defense. He doesn't have the steals and assists and stuff. Well, LeBron. But then when it comes to the Michael Jordan versus LeBron debate, then it's all about points, right? It's like, you gotta get your story straight. If you're gonna be a basketball purist and lean into one thing versus the other, like you can't discount one guy and then not discount the other guy over the same categories.
I don't know. I disagree because you want to just take whichever one proves your point and only use those statistics every time, right?
That's true. That's actually the easiest way to do it. You're ready for next session of Master Debater then.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just sitting here thinking, why would I bring up the statistic that doesn't prove my point when I can just completely change my story and use the statistic that does prove my point?
Too smart.
You're one USA chant away from winning this debate.
from us joining you.
From us joining this debate and being like, I don't even know what side Simon's on, but I'm on that side.
My phone rings. Weird. I was just elected a representative for the state of Texas.
I don't know what side you're on, but I know you're on the side of freedom.
My buddy pointed out the craziest LeBron stat that my buddy pointed out is that he said that LeBron's career averages were 27, 7, and 7. So 27 points, 7 rebounds, 7 boards. And a little fun fact is he's never had a game where he finished with that score. He's never had a game that finished 27, 7, 7 his entire career, even though that's been his career average for the past
Scoregami.
Yeah.
LeBronagami.
But here's how crazy LeBron has been playing. This year, his career average went up to 27, 8, and 7. So this average has been his average for the past 5 years. Like his whole, it's like once you get to at a certain age, you get to an average, it's hard to change it. You think that it might go down. His went up. Like that's the level that this guy's still playing at. It's wild.
Absolutely absurd. He's waiting. He's waiting for Junior to make it to the league. He wants to play with his son. He'll keep playing.
That's gonna be a lot of fun, man.
And he's so good that he can. Know what I mean? As long as he can 80% of LeBron James, 50% of LeBron James is probably still an NBA player, right? Maybe not the best in the league, but LeBron James at 50 to 60% is probably still an NBA caliber player. Like he can extend his career if he's willing to accept maybe a different role on a team. If his goal is to play with his son for more than just a season.
Is Vince Carter still playing?
No. That'd be so awesome.
He played for a while.
He played for a long time. Ray Allen.
I remember hearing he was still playing a couple years ago, being like, "What? Like how? Like he was playing when I was a kid."
That was my dad's favorite player.
Yeah, like how is he still playing on that level?
And he was still dunking too. Like
unreal.
Yeah. Like think about Ray Allen. He played till he was almost 40 as well. And put it in perspective for Ray Allen. He played for the Milwaukee Bucks for 9 years, and then he played for the Seattle Supersonics, and then he was still on these championship teams with the Celtics and the Miami Heat. Ray Allen played forever too. If you can sit in that corner and shoot threes, you can play for a long time.
Yeah. Ladarius in here said, "Good morning, fellas."
Yeah.
JL was right about LeBron. He is always in the conversation for NBA GOAT versus MJ. It breaks down to generations and perspective when talking about GOAT of any sport in general. I think Ladarius brings up a really good point here because this term GOAT is the concept of the greatest of anything is not new. But in terms of applying it to just sports, this is a decent enough gap between generations and these players. Maybe that's why it's such a polarizing topic in NBA versus NFL.
Yeah, it's true because there's a lot of differences. Same with NFL, you can point out that scoring was a lot lower and stuff, right? You go back and look at some of Otto Graham stats and you're like, this guy sucked. But then you realize that nobody was throwing. So, he was leading.
Hadn't figured that out yet.
Right. They weren't allowed to throw when he started playing, right? He was leading the league with 1,000 yards, right?
Right.
And then I see Tommy in here. Who's your top 5 in order? Wow. That's tough, dude. I think Michael Jordan's still one for me for basketball players.
Kobe.
I have Michael Jordan and then LeBron. And 3 for me is Larry Bird. And then Magic, and then Kobe Bryant, and then Larry Bird for me is 3, simply because and I'll admit that he's 3 for me simply because that's what I was raised with. That's what I was raised on. That's the highlights I watched. That's what my dad talked about. That's what his friends talked about. So that's where I was. And no Tommy, no Bill Russell, because Bill Russell kind of was a little, before that. So it's like that's what was the hotness. I went to the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts, and saw Magic Johnson do the speech for Larry Bird when he was inducted in the Hall of Fame. So to me, when I was a kid, these are the best basketball players, right? And then obviously Michael Jordan was around, and then it was like, okay, Michael Jordan's the best basketball player, but Larry Bird's still my favorite basketball player. And then LeBron came along, and I was like, okay, LeBron's better than Larry Bird. So that's how we got Larry Bird at 3 for me. But he's still got to be 3. So that's how it rocks for me.
The Bird man.
What about you guys? How you guys feel about it?
I don't know. I didn't really start watching NBA until later in life. So I don't have I watched them live kind of thing for anybody but the pretty modern players. Right. Some of the older guys that hung around. So for me, I know Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan are still going to be on that list for me, right? I've seen plenty of highlights. I've seen plenty of game footage of both of those players. Once you start watching NBA, it's impossible to avoid names like that. Mm-hmm. But I'll probably put personally, if this isn't the all-time best list, but I'll put Steph Curry on that list for me at number 5, being a modern NBA fan, right? As someone who just started watching in the last 10 years, that dude changed the league even from when I started watching, how that game is played. Do you see Dame pull up from half court, not heave it, a straight pull up 3 from just in front of half court? We didn't used to see that shit. That was some Steph only shit at the beginning. He changed the way that game's played.
I did see that Dame Lillard shot. And basically he looked for a pass and he didn't like any of the passes. So he's like, I'll just shoot from here. And there were 13 seconds on the shot clock. It was it was just one of those plays where he was just like, yeah, this is good enough. And it was nothing but the bottom of the net. And the thing is, nowadays, you're right, Simon. We don't think, I didn't really think twice of it, really. At the time, when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that's a normal shot now. And that's all because of Steph Curry. So he's absolutely top 10 lists are a lot easier and more fun for me to make, because then I can really start putting on guys that I like. You know what I mean? You live in San Antonio. You can make an argument that Tim Duncan's a top 10 guy, right? But hard to put him in the top 5, but he's just a fun guy to have in the top 10 because he's a great dude.
Oh, if anybody here in San Antonio heard me say he's not in my top 5, I might get immediately kicked out of that city. That man is a god here. Not liked or even loved, revered and worshipped. They speak about him like he's their brother. People in this town talk about Tim Duncan like he was over for dinner last night. Every single time.
That's why I heard here.
They're like, Timmy. Oh yeah, I saw Timmy the other day down at the grocery store. They just love that man.
Wherever you go, it's going to be different too. You know what I mean? It's if you go to Los Angeles, they're talking about Magic the way I talk about Bird and, Bird Sox or whatever. So.
100%.
Did you guys see Juju yesterday? Came out and said, honestly, the best Philly cheesesteaks are not in Philly.
Why?
It's not even a hot take, Juju. He's not wrong though. That's not even a hot take. The stereotypical Philly cheesesteaks are garbage. I feel like anyone from Philadelphia will tell you that.
Speaking of the NBA, I'll tell you where the best Philly cheesesteaks come from. Former NBA player Malik Rose has a food truck in San Antonio called Malik's Philly Cheesesteaks, and they are so unbelievably good. They ruin me. They put me out of commission for 3 days. And I choose to eat them anyways, still, willingly. I will take every bite knowing that it is going to be not, oh, I'm in pain. But they are just so cheesy and so delicious and so grilled and so steamy. And the bread is so perfect and soaks up all the yummy juices. I get the chicken one, but I love it so much.
That's how people talk about drugs, Simon. You're like I know this is bad for me. I know I'm going to pay for this later, but I can't resist.
You haven't had one of these cheesesteaks, man.
They sound amazing. I did see the Juju I did see the Juju quote, and I was on Reddit when I saw it, and one of the Reddit comments had me cracking up. This dude goes, Andy Reid about to bench Juju like Belichick with Malcolm Butler. Just like no explanation, and it turns out that it was because he dissed cheesesteaks.
I absolutely, I was thinking about this yesterday. I absolutely love that I will see every couple of weeks, Andy Reid just leans into this whole, like, he's just obsessed with food bit.
Oh,
and there'll just always be just a random report that comes out and it'll be like, yeah, Andy Reid like answers this reporter's question with like a clear him just saying like, man, I love cheeseburgers. I love that about Andy Reid. It's like one of my favorite things about him. It's a little like silly bit.
He's not so good at remembering the script, and he's supposed to play the guy who loves burgers all the time.
Right.
But he forgets. So randomly he'll be on the press conference. He's like, oh yeah, man, I love cheeseburgers. Like he just slips it in, and then he looks over at the person who like makes sure everybody's running their lines. He's like, you hear me? You hear me do it?
I think the one I saw yesterday was him talking about there's like food in Mexico City. They're asking about it at the Mexico City game, and he's like, yeah, I love their chili rellenos.
Honestly, I really don't think he's doing it on purpose, because they asked him about the Germany game too, and he was like, because Kansas City is going to be playing a game in Germany next year, and the first thing he said was excited to get a bratwurst.
Yes, I love that. I love this little silly bit.
Yeah, it's nice to have that.
You ask him where he's going for vacation, and he says bratwurst. Where are you going on vacation? Chili rellenos. He just plans all his trips based on where are you going for vacation this year? We're going to Hot Pot for vacation.
Philadelphia.
That was basically my honeymoon.
Hot Pot.
We're going to these different. It was just Hot Pot, dude, everywhere. Actually, I did have a hot dog, and there were a bunch of places out there claim they have the best hot dogs. So I tried a lot of them, and there might not even be wrong. Great hot dogs out there. Iceland. Be surprised, dude. Iceland. The tour guide went out of her way to mention multiple times that Bill Clinton loves the hot dogs in Iceland. So I had to try one.
Okay.
I could just imagine her like looking specifically at the Americans, like Bill Clinton. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like kind of like like all they really know is Bill Clinton was an American president, and that you are American. They're probably gonna love that hot dog.
I went to the exact same hot dog stand.
2 equals hot dog.
I went to the same hot dog stand that he went to while he was there. Though I didn't get so his order there, they changed the name of that hot dog to the Clinton. But I didn't get it because it was literally just a hot dog with mustard. I got like onions and stuff too.
It's always a funny phenomenon where it's like celebrity isn't here, but they were here at one point. Come see it.
I was there in 2022. According to Google, it was 2004 when he was there. They're like,
like, wow, I can smell his air.
He had a hot dog here, so.
The number of restaurants around town here that have a sign with Guy Fieri on it out front are a little bit too high, because Guy Fieri loves San Antonio. It's like a city that he loves. There's all sorts of rumors about why he comes here all the time, but he tries lots of restaurants when he's here, and lots of restaurants are proud of the fact that he does it. So you drive around and there's probably 15 places with like advertising Guy Fieri ate here, as some of them as seen on Guy Fieri, and just some of them like, yeah, Guy Fieri had lunch. You know what I mean? Like they weren't on diners, drive-ins, and dives.
He was just driving through and was hungry.
He just came over. He just needed something to eat.
Doesn't even say whether he liked it or not.
He's absolutely desperate on a road trip.
Now that I think about this, it's even better, because not only was Bill Clinton not there in the last decade, but he hadn't been a president. He hadn't been president for a decade either. Like it was 12 years after he was president that he showed up to have a hot dog, and they were like, he's here.
A non-presidential hot dog. He just goes around to hot dog stands across the world getting a plain mustard dog named after him.
I mean, kind of almost as cool as what Obama's doing, right? Obama's just kind of hanging out with like Bruce Springsteen, right?
Eating bratwurst.
He's doing the same thing except bratwurst.
Except bratwurst, yep.
Well, Aaron Rodgers, I know Andy Reid uses bratwurst to keep his health up to speed, but Aaron Rodgers has a new technique that he's going to be using to keep his health up in the offseason. After talking to Pat McAfee on his show the other day, Aaron Rodgers said that he is going to a darkness retreat in a couple of weeks. It's 4 days, complete darkness, just himself in a little house. Said he's had a number of friends who've done it and they had profound experiences, and he expects a decision after that.
I
Done
love
eating
this.
clay. He's done with ayahuasca. He's going on a darkness retreat.
I love this so much. I love that he is leaning into this whole narrative because it's so funny. It's like there's just so much humor you can find in it. I love that.
Like other players are like I got to talk to my family. I got to talk to my doctors. I got to talk to my agent. And Aaron Rodgers is like, I got to sit in a house with all the blinds closed for 4 days straight, and then I'll emerge with an answer. It's like deciding the next pope. Know what I mean? Like, like when at the end of the darkness
blows out
retreat,
little
like
ayahuasca.
white smoke is going to come out of his chimney at his house.
Spurting out little
but it's just a
ayahuasca juice.
cloud of DMT smoke out of his window at the end of his 4-day darkness retreat.
Or it's just like Jewel.
Which team do you think he ends up on with in the darkness? Which team is the darkness vibe?
Brains team.
The Raiders. The Raiders.
Tommy's saying
The Raiders are. I could see that.
I feel like
could
the
see it.
Jets live in the darkness. Know what I
They
mean? Like
do.
if you become one with the darkness, you are becoming a Jet.
The
Yeah,
shadowy.
They live in the sewers, but they run the sewers.
Right.
the shadowy underbelly.
Sorry, Jets fans.
The shadowy underbelly of the Giants.
The Jets. I
Gotham.
really do feel like maybe the Giants, it feels like the classic like hero anti-hero story where like if the Giants and Jets were the protagonist and the antagonist, the Giants would supposedly be the good guy, but everyone's cheering for the Jets. Not in the NFL, but in like in a movie sense. If you put them on a field against each other, I'd get sick of the Giants, man. You think you're the America's team, even though in division has another nickname like that. You're red, white,
Who
blue.
says that? Who says that Giants are America's team?
Daniel Jones. I heard him
There are
say it.
people.
He's like, I can just tell by the way they look.
The Giants are a prestigious team, like organization in that way, and it seems like the coaches are the ones that like they want that coaching job, coaching the Giants, right? Like I don't know, there is some prestige to it, Simon. You're not wrong about that. There's something there. And then the Jets are just scurrying around in the sewers, like pulling a cape over their face.
Why does it fit so well? Why do they fit that image so well?
Why can I see like Zach Wilson specifically with that cape in the sewers, just like pulling it over his face?
But he's
got dirt and he's got dirt and mud all over his face.
ostracized from the group.
Yeah, and then like the Giants are like, Team America, Captain America, or what's that? The guy from The Boys who's like supposed to be that guy, but he's like a bad dude. And I don't know if you guys seen that show, but it's pretty good. The Boys.
I've never seen that show.
Check it out.
I've been told I need to watch it. Tim loves
It is really good. It is really good. Yeah. But that would be the Giants in this case.
Would you guys do a darkness retreat?
No. Oh my God, no.
I would.
I would consider doing like a 1 hour, one of those like the salt baths where they close it and you're in the dark.
Yeah.
The sensory deprivation chambers.
Exactly. I would do that for like 1 hour, but it would have to be a latch where I get out if I'm having a panic attack. But I'm not doing...
I just imagine you walk into the room where Coop's in his sensory deprivation chamber, and you just hear him sitting there talking to himself about football. It's tight ends.
That's where
I completely empty room, but it's just him talking in his tank.
Right. That's why I missed the first 10 minutes of the show.
Pan out this year, but look at him.
I'll
now.
show him.
4 days.
Show them all.
4 days in the dark, dude. Now, and I don't even get it. Like, how do they make sure it stays dark? Because your eyes adjust even the smallest amount of light. Like
blackout curtains. I'm assuming they're covering all the gaps. And then...
they put the sleep masks on him for 4 days.
And like, what does he got? He's got like a camel pack and like snacks within reach. I would love to hear the setup. I want to know the exact setup because that intrigues me. Like, you're gonna have no entertainment, right? It's just you, enough food and water, and just a man in his thoughts for 4 days. That's a dangerous place.
It's kind of similar to like Vipassana retreats, which are like long, like you go and you don't talk for a week or a month or whatever. It's kind of similar to that.
Tommy said, how do you poop? Like he turns every light on in his house when he poops at night. You never
I do.
You never wandered to the toilet in the dark.
I don't I definitely turn the lights on. You crazy?
Where are they? What about the monsters?
I poop in the pitch black. Sometimes I shower in the pitch black. I am
How do you
friend
wipe?
of the darkness. What'd you say?
How do you wipe in the pitch black? How do you
Yo,
know
I've
you're
been
done?
wiping for 23 years. You just give it a couple extra. I'm pretty good at it at this point.
A couple extra. You pooping
You
in
like
the
calling
pitch?
someone in to double check for you every time?
Yeah.
I mean, you do an eye check.
I check. I personally check on my own behalf. I do not have anyone else check.
I am quality assurance in that.
I'm just saying, dude. It's like pitch blackness, Simon.
You do what you got to do.
Simon's just in the wrong room.
He doesn't want to
pooping all over his
he doesn't want to ruin
floor.
he doesn't want to ruin his retreat. I mean, what's so bad about turning the lights on for 1 second?
It affects. I have a lot of trouble falling back asleep in the middle of the night, and turning the lights on can be jarring to my eyes, and I feel like it can reset me. So I poop in the dark to keep the lights off so that I can fall asleep
Lights on,
easier.
you see all that bullshit.
Oh, here's
Exactly.
another question, dude. Here's another question. How often are you waking up in the middle of the night with the urge to poop?
Oh my god.
Well,
For me, it's
Coop,
almost never.
the past 2 days, I'd say that number is over 15. Not been great, Bob. Under 50, but over 15, somewhere in that range. I will say I have not done a 4-day darkness retreat, but there was an exhibit in Atlanta. It was a traveling exhibition. It was there at the same time that the Bodies exhibit was, called Dialogue in the Dark. Have you guys ever heard of Dialogue in the Dark?
No.
So what it was it was put on by an organization that raised awareness for people that were blind and raised money towards schools that funded the blind and things like that. And it was a blind simulation experience. And you would go in there. All of the tour guides were legally blind and would guide you through this. And they had an entire thing set up, no windows, completely pitch black, where you would like go to a park, go to a grocery store, go to a restaurant, go to a dock, cross a busy city street. And they had all these set up with sounds and physical things, but you couldn't see it. And it was like a 3-hour experience. And the first hour was so cool. Know what I mean? You were in there like, wow, this is wild. Like, I can't believe this is how people walk around. How do they figure it out? This is so difficult. And then by hour 3, you are ready to Kool-Aid man your way through the nearest wall to be able to see for the love of God. Like, hour 3 is brutal in that exhibit. Like, the first hour is fun. The second hour is like, okay, I'm sure we're almost over. And then the third hour is like, for the love of God, take any of my other senses and let me out of here. Because this is tough, man.
That would bother me.
Bad.
It's cool though.
Bad.
We got Dr. Big in the chat. Said it's just New York. New York. And then he said a bunch of other stuff. But he said, I do a darkness retreat every night until I wake up, and that's good enough for me. Dr. Big, satisfied with little things.
That's from a doctor.
That's from a doctor.
Dr. Big, what like is it? I don't know if that's good or bad for your mental health, the 4 days in the dark.
I think it depends on the person, probably. Know what I mean? Like, there's probably people that can pull positive out of that being alone with their thoughts allows them to discover something. But 4 days for me, that would be a net negative on my mental health. I'm just going to tell you. 4 days in the dark, not alone, but no lights, no distractions, just me and my thoughts.
I feel like that would be a net positive for most of the population's mental health if they did this.
4 full days.
Yes.
It might be a shock.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's unhealthy. We're on the other end of it where we can't go full days with just chilling.
This is beyond just chilling, though. Know what I mean? This is
for sure.
This is brutal. This is wild. Not being able to see for 4 days straight, robbing you of the sense that you probably use most often. I get what you're saying, but
I was thinking the Aaron Rodgers one, the darkness retreat, not so much the blindness thing. The blindness thing would be.
The darkness retreat for Aaron Rodgers is the same thing in principle, right? Except the only experience you're having is maybe your living room.
Yeah, and you adjust, right? You adjust to probably the darkness.
Potentially. I mean, if it's pitch black, it's pitch black. But they would have to do a good job of making it pitch black.
Yeah, I don't know.
The average person can't do that because they would lose their job, or they would at least use too many vacation days. You're gonna use two vacation days.
four vacation days. Too many.
2 is too many. To sit in the darkness, dude. You kidding?
I want to go to Mexico. I'm going to use these 2 days.
But Twitter.
What'd you do? It's not even just Twitter, dude. Like, you're just sitting in the darkness doing nothing.
Tight ends.
Can you read in the dark?
No, you can't do anything.
Gotta have night vision.
The whole point is for you to just be alone with your just have thoughts. That's the whole point. Like if you do it, I feel like if you do anything, you're cheating.
Let's do a darkness retreat live on air tomorrow for 3 hours. Deal. No one says anything. We mute all our mics and we just sit here in the dark staring at our computer screen.
That's actually that's what Keith is doing this morning, right?
Darkness retreat. Absolutely.
And we got Dustin in the chat. Said, morning, everyone. Morning, Dustin. And Joey said, sounds like an art exhibit that steals your wallet.
They did not steal our wallet, but that's pretty funny. Now, the coolest part about that exhibit, though, is you had a guide the entire time that you met. You spent 3 hours with him. Honestly, a fairly intimate experience, like having a sense taken from you and then putting your trust in another person to make up for that. Know what I mean? Like, so you form a connection with this person and you do not get to see them at all, period. They never let you see them. And I think that's part of the experience is they want you to like form a connection with a person that you never get to see. You don't know what they look like. You just get to have a connection with them.
It's kind of cool.
Kind of cool. That was the coolest part about that.
Moving on from Aaron Rodgers here. Did you guys see 49ers are planning to hire Steve Wilks as their defensive coordinator to replace DeMeco Ryans? That's interesting, right? Steve Wilks was in the was the interim head coach in for the Carolina Panthers and was in that running for the head coach position before they gave it to Frank Reich. How do you guys feel about this hire on the 49ers part?
I'm happy for Steve Wilks. I honestly thought he was going to get that Carolina Panthers job, and I think this is a good hire for the 49ers. The only concern would be the lack of continuity going forward if they wanted someone that was going to stick around, because I think still Steve Wilks wants to be a head coach. I think that's his goal. He wanted to do it this year. Seemed like he was close to being named the head coach of the Panthers. I don't know how long he'll be here with the 49ers if he finds any level of success. And with the defense they have, I think he'll find success.
Well, that's kind of the problem that if he wants to be a head coach that you run into, where it's like, now he's just inheriting a good defense. If he really wanted to challenge himself and build his resume, he would go somewhere where like he needs to build the defense and he needs to make this defense special. Like with this one, if the defense succeeds, then they can just be like, oh, well, the defense is already good. If the defense takes a step back, now everyone's like, oh, geez, he inherited this good defense and it's not as good. I don't want that guy as my head coach. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of an odd situation, but at the same time, we also don't know. Maybe they just gave him a lot of money, and then that's the reason too.
And money's a pretty good reason sometimes. It talks.
In terms of jobs, that's usually one of the most important reasons.
You feel confident that Steve Wilks is going to find success, though, Coop, here with this defense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the defense is great, right?
Yeah, and I think he's a good coach.
Should work out pretty well then.
Should work out pretty well.
Yeah. Pieces seem to fit. Round hole, round peg.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. Now, interesting. It will be interesting to see who gets these last couple head coaching jobs. Who else? What's else out there? I know the Cardinals are still out there. The Colts is still undecided, though rumors are inching closer and closer to Mr. Saturday. Are there any other ones still floating around?
Oh man, I feel like there are, but now as soon as you asked me, my brain forgot all NFL franchises.
Panthers are full, right? Yeah, Panthers are full.
The
Texans are full.
Did the Buccaneers move on from?
No, I think they fired their offensive coordinator and left.
They didn't fire Todd Bowles. Yeah, they did fire Brian. They fired Byron Leftwich. Yeah,
Broncos hired Peyton.
Yeah, still a couple floating around, but not too many gigs out there.
Well, Joe, speaking of the Broncos hiring Peyton, did you see the comments from Terry Bradshaw about his form? Because they worked together at Fox, right, before he took this job. He said that the reason Sean Payton didn't take the Arizona job is because of the quarterback. He didn't want to work with Kyler. And the reason he initially didn't want the Broncos job is because of the quarterback. He didn't want to work with Russ. But he took the Broncos job anyways, in spite of Russ, is what Terry Bradshaw came out and said about Sean Payton. Not the quote, you want to come out right as you're starting to build that relationship, right?
This has been my issue. Like, this has been the thing I think that's bothered me about Sean Payton ever since I've been a football fan is like, I don't know, he strikes me as a little bit arrogant when it comes to a lot of these things. And the quarterback thing, I think, is a good example. It's just like, he's so persnickety, which I get. It's a head of coaching job, high stakes. You got to give yourself the best foot to step out with, but feels like you should be able to make it work with any quarterback if you're that good of a coach.
Making a lot of sense. I mean, but at the same time, I don't know, man. You need the players, you need the personnel. I mean,
It's not like Kyler's not talented.
Bill Belichick won 11 games with Matt Castle, but I mean, it's not for everybody, you know.
Yeah. No, we'll see. I forgot what coach we were talking about. It happened again. Dang
Sean
it.
Payton.
Hey, I know about that guy. I agree with you, Jay. He comes across a little bit like an asshole. And the thing is, you can be an asshole and a great NFL coach. You can be an asshole and a good person.
They're not mutually exclusive.
They're not mutually exclusive. But I do think some coaches are like a player's coach, where I feel like their top priority is kind of like the player's best interest, the player's well-being. They want to be liked. I don't think Sean Payton gives a crap if his players like him. Know what I mean? They want to respect him. He's going to go in there. He's going to win. And that's how he's going to earn the respect, is by winning, not by being their buddy. Know what I mean? Not by coming in and being their friend.
Yeah,
there is a spectrum to that, right? Like at one end, the far end, Bill Belichick is like cutting dudes the day before the Super Bowl, right? And like he doesn't care at all. At the far other end is probably like Pete Carroll, right? Like Pete Carroll is definitely a player's coach, like chewing gum and butt slapping and all that stuff. Who else is a player's coach, would you say?
Dan Campbell.
Mike Tomlin has had
probably the most player coach.
Mike Tomlin has had instances where he's done things to appease the players, like the Antonio Brown streak of receptions where he like threw that pass to him, you know, but maybe Tomlin's more towards the middle. Bruce Arians is not a player's coach.
No.
McVay?
McVay's kind of a player's coach.
Bruce Arians once cut a player for parking in the wrong parking spot.
Got him.
Smoked him.
That player
should have paid attention.
Carson Palmer.
He once to the media said that they only had one wide receiver on the team, and it was John Brown, when they had 6 wide receivers signed under contract. Bruce Arians with the Cardinals once also said that if you were hurt, don't get hurt or you might get cut, which I was like, what? He's like, you can't make this team in the tub, like the old saying that like only your high school coach says. Like he's like, don't get hurt or you're gonna get caught. I was like, okay, that's
brutal. You're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that.
Nah.
We had some quarterback news that I see Tommy mentioning down in the chat. Derek Carr is visiting the Saints. Say he's doing his due diligence. And Tommy wants to know if that starts to move the market on him. February 15th deadline. John Luke, you think Carr to the Saints is a possibility, or this is just him doing his due diligence to a team that's interested?
It's absolutely a possibility. The Raiders did grant him permission to meet with them. And he seems done. He seems ready to move on. I don't think he's going to give them the extension on that trade deadline in his contract. So I think they're going to probably move on from him semi-quickly here.
Coop,
there's only so many teams where I think Carr is a true upgrade. You know, some of them, I think like you could argue that he's better, but I think it's a little too lateral. Like, for instance, Jared Goff, like the Lions, do you think it's that big of an upgrade from Goff to Carr?
No, I'm not convinced. I think Derek Carr's the better quarterback, but when you take in like the other factors, the continuity, the season of play, the chemistry, I'm not sure plugging Derek Carr in makes that a better team.
Exactly. That's where I'm at. Is that like, I think that if you were to say pick one or the other, I would pick Carr, but it's close enough that you don't do all the crazy things you got to do to make that lateral move. Let me try another one. What about the Titans? Would that be Titans from Tannehill to Carr? Is that a big enough upgrade, you guys think?
No.
It's probably too.
I think it is. I think it is on the Saints. I think it's a bigger upgrade on the Saints, personally.
Yeah. What about the Giants? Daniel Jones, Derek Carr.
No.
Yeah, I think that's also too lateral. And I'm kind of a Daniel Jones hater, and I still think it's too lateral. So
yeah,
there's only so many
the closest
teams
out of the 3 that you brought up.
Right. The Bucs, obviously, with Brady gone. Tommy's got a good list there. Bucs, Panthers, Jets, Saints. See, Titans is kind of right on the line there. But those spots, for sure.
Dustin coming in reminding us the Saints are one of the few teams that can take his contract. So that makes the Saints maybe a little bit more likely over there. Coop, predict right now. Where does Derek Carr play football next year?
The Jets.
The Jets. JL?
Dave and Buster's.
Okay.
I bet he could get a mean score on that football toss game.
I bet he could. The problem is the balls are so light. It's so much harder to throw than real football. Or I suck. I don't know. One of the two.
No, it's definitely that.
I'm gonna go with the Saints. I think the Saints is actually makes a ton of sense. I could see them making this move, and we already got some evidence to support that here. And Dustin in the chat made a good point. He said it's one of the few teams that can take his contract.
Tommy playing a game that I wanted to play, which is just start naming teams that would piss off the fans of that team, like Steelers. Or he'd be an upgrade over Kenny Pickett, and the Steelers are just like, Steelers fans are like,
gritting their teeth. They're like, I know he's just messing with me, but I want to say something.
He would be, but we're trying to develop this other guy. I know he threw 7 touchdown passes.
He's got big hands.
Yeah. The sit here and say, oh, the Bears were dead last passing yards.
That'll piss people off. Because you would get a reaction from me if you said the Bears, and I'm not even a Bears fan.
Hey, what about the Panthers?
What about the Broncos? What about the Broncos? Imagine him with imagine him with Sean Payton.
Taysom. They don't need him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're gonna have Taysom.
Quarterback
as a Falcons fan, I would prefer Derek Carr to play at Dave & Buster's than with the Saints. So some respect over there for Derek Carr from a Falcons fan.
I was gonna say, I mentioned the Falcons in that last spiel, and I was just thinking about that. I'm like, man, that kind of just feels like them trying to do the whole Mariota thing again.
Here's one
pretty similar.
What about Derek Carr to this team?
That would be so bad.
I don't know why, Coop, but that just doesn't work. I'm sorry. Something's wrong with that. Something's wrong with him in that jersey. Like, I'm trying to picture him in that jersey, and it's just like
doesn't fit.
I feel like it's like taking like
the too mainstream.
It's like taking like Pete Davidson and putting him in a really nice fitted suit and making him the very serious host of 60 Minutes. Know what I mean? Like that's not what Pete Davidson's gonna do. Don't make him host 60.
A new Superman movie comes out and they announce that it's Pete Davidson. That's
right. It's exactly like that. That's a much better one. Like Pete Davidson's not Superman and Derek Carr's not a Patriot.
You're trying to get Matthew McConaughey to wear deodorant.
Exactly like that,
okay.
All right.
It's the goth girl in the prom dress. The Patriots are too mainstream. You're right. He needs the darkness. The Jets, man. The Jets. He's got
that eyeliner will look good with the green.
Emo eyeliner, dude. He needs to be down there. What other teams would he not fit on? Cowboys,
Giants, Bills.
Yeah. Giants would be terrible.
How many teams are blue? We're just picking blue teams now.
Washington.
Yeah, he doesn't fit in blue. That's what we're discovering.
We've had this conversation.
To Washington.
Washington's where he would fit. Yeah. I think, that could work.
Well, Derek Carr, if we're picking your team based just on vibes, or if that's what you want to do, let us know. We've been thinking nothing but vibes for you. You think he's listening?
Yeah.
I think vibes are huge here.
Of course he is.
I think so.
Now, another coaching change comment here that I particularly enjoy, being a tight end enthusiast. Reporter Sarah Ellison was talking to Mark Andrews and asked how he felt about the offensive coordinator change. And Mark Andrews said one thing that he said, this is such a pass-happy league. If you're not going to do it, you're going to fall behind. And it said that they need to change the narrative that Baltimore isn't a great place for wide receivers to flourish. So
I think he's going like, if I can use this platform to make us pass the ball a little bit more, I'm going to do it. Like all of a sudden he's the biggest wide receiver advocate because for the love of God, throw the ball more, please.
Right.
And a rising tide raises all ships. That's what it feels like for Mark Andrews with this comment.
And this year, once Rashad Bateman went down, it was like teams were just like, circling a picture of Mark Andrews. We stop this and we win, right?
Yeah.
So now they need something else. If they have Bateman on one side, you have Bateman on one side and then someone that can stretch the field on the other side, then you can still use the fullback, right? As long as you can still use a fullback with 2 wide receivers and a tight end, and then you can do your 1 wide receiver set with a fullback and 2 tight ends if you want as well. But you got to have that other guy available that teams are scared of. I think Sammy Watkins, not that guy. Like Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks would be the perfect guy on the outside where you have to respect him.
Yeah, that's a good point. It was nice seeing the Ravens move more towards the passing game season previous to this one. I hope they go back towards that. I hope they keep pushing a little closer to me in there because I think the team would be fantastic if they could get a little more balance there.
Well, getting Greg Roman out of there should help.
Step 1,
right?
Yeah,
Step 1.
First
step 1 complete. It doesn't guarantee it's going to happen, but it's a big piece of evidence that maybe they're feeling the same way you are, Jo.
Yeah, it's like we get it. You're one-dimensional, but like be a little better at at it though. You can't just be one-dimensional and not have anything else.
Yeah. You guys want to see if we can keep our Weddle streak going? We almost got caught yesterday on that Weddle. It was a little bit of a trickier one. Everybody watching, if you haven't played this with us before, you can head on over to weddlegame.com and play along with us. It's just like Wordle or any of the other popular word games, but we're going to be guessing NFL players and learning a little bit about them as we go through, getting some more information. So I believe I picked the player yesterday, which I think means it's back to Coop to pick our starting player.
No, I picked me and Tommy yesterday picked Jalen Waddle.
That's right. John Luke.
Me?
Yeah.
Let's go with the guy near and dear to my heart. I think I said that yesterday. Let's go with Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs.
Once again.
Well, very little information here.
Terrible.
We do know that this player is in the AFC. They're not a wide receiver. They're much taller than 6 foot, so at least 6'3". They're younger than 29, much younger, so at least 26 or below, and their number is much lower than 14, so at least 11 or below. So likely a quarterback or a tight end if they are 6'2" or taller in the AFC.
So this makes me think that this is a quarterback because there's very few tight ends that wear single-digit numbers. There's like Kyle Pitts, but it's kind of a new phenomenon to have tight ends wear single-digit numbers. They weren't even allowed for quite some time there. So you're probably not going to get many tight ends that are like even Evan Ingram is number 17, so he wouldn't count here. And so it's my guess probably a quarterback here.
Quarterback over a tight end. Okay, so we need an AFC quarterback that is younger than 29. So a young AFC quarterback.
For instance, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow would be a quarterback that his number's under 14. He's under 29. He's taller than 6 feet. He's in the AFC, but not the AFC East. So he fits every one of these and could be the answer.
You guys want to go with it? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow. Okay, AFC North is correct and quarterback is correct, but they're shorter than 6'4", younger than 26, and number is lower than 9.
Lamar.
Tyler Huntley.
No. Did you say Lamar before this, Jay?
No.
Is Lamar younger than 26? He's not younger than 26.
Lamar,
he's our age.
You're right.
Lamar Jackson.
He's a year younger than us, I think.
Interesting.
Because he's a year younger than Deshaun, and Deshaun's a year younger than us. So he's 2 years younger than us, so he is 26, I think.
But he would have to be 25 or 24 for this to be correct.
That's a good point.
Is Kenny Nose Pickett?
But it's
he was kind of old. It's came out.
But what's his number? And it is within 2 of 9, so the number's either 8 or 7.
No, it's within 2 of 6. So the second guess was Joe Burrow. 29 was way wrong. Oh, within 2 of 9. I thought you were still talking age, JL. I thought you said 29.
Jersey number. Yeah, sorry. Jersey number.
Kenny Pickett's number 8.
So Kenny Pickett could fit. I don't know how tall he is.
Neither do I, but he's taller than 6 feet. He's taller than 6 feet, or we would know.
But
he's taller than 6 foot, and he's under 6'4".
Yeah, he's in that range for sure.
Watson's too old. We already know, like Deshaun Watson's too old. He's our age, so he's not in there.
And he's not 8 or 7. He's 4.
I think it's Kenny Pickett.
All right, let's go Pickett.
You guys want to try it?
If not, it's
Pickett's
probably
correct.
Lamar.
Kenny Pickett is the correct answer. Nice job, Coop.
Nice.
Going to be Derek Carr's backup this year.
Lamar is 26, but freshly on January 7th, he turned 26 years old.
That's a good call out, Simon. Good call
So
out.
he's freshly 26. That dude's he's younger than I thought he was. I thought Lamar was 28.
Buy him in Dynasty.
They go out there and trade for Lamar Jackson.
Buy Deshaun Watson too. Get them both.
Well, guys, coming up, we've got some more coming your direction. We're going to play some games. We're going to help Reddit answer their questions, talk some more ball, get ready for the Super Bowl, and then have some trade value talks using our friend Peakton High School's trade charts as well. Right now, you're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Better Sports Network is sponsored by Lucra.
Now being joined by Dylan Robbins, the CEO of Lucra.
Lucra is a unique new platform, but it really has a basis and a very simple idea is that we think that people want to bet with their friends, right? Our product is built off the fact that the casual fan is at the bar or at their buddy's house and they're putting $5 on the game and they're doing it on Venmo. And I think that there's a huge opportunity to open the market up to all these casual fans. A lot of people who feel boxed out by the traditional sports books because they're too complicated or there's complex jargon. They don't understand the lines or the spreads. And so Lucra's goal is to just make it simple. And our favorite way of doing that is we just connect you directly with your friends. So it's a social platform. It's peer-to-peer. We're not the house. We don't take any risk on these wagers. We just are a marketplace to kind of connect you with your friends directly to engage. So it started as just a business for sports. We've expanded outside of sports now. We offer 150 recreational games from cornhole to beer pong to darts to Weddle to Peloton. You name it. You can challenge your friends now on Lucra. And you've got all the gaming and tracking and stats and leaderboards to go with it to make it fun. So it's a bit about what we do, and excited to chat with you guys about it today.
What's the future growth of Lucra?
Good question. I think for us, it's really the expansion outside of sports. I think that we've proven that sports is a great model. We've got a ton of great customers who love our sports product, but we're really paving the way or really innovating on this recreational game side of our business as we think about all these unique categories and areas where people are competing. Spike ball, pickleball, all these things that are blowing up across the globe right now. Lucra is the first real way where people can bet with their friends on these games. And so we're getting a lot of new customers from that, a lot of brand awareness from that. And I think we're just trying to iterate that product, make it more fun, make it easier. But we're going to keep our ethos the same, casual, social, and fun. That's what Lucra's about. Our average contest is $10. This is not about bankrupting your friends. It's not about winning big and paying your rent. It's about the magic of the moment and making that moment better by having $5 on the line. If you ever played a round of golf on Sunday or watched a football game, you guys get it. You put a few bucks on it. It just changes the way you interact with that game. You watch it longer. You spend more money there. And it gives us a lot of time for us to, an opportunity for us to partner with other brands because of that.
Better Sports Network is sponsored by Lucra. Winning is fun, and beating your friends is even better. Download the Lucra app today to challenge your friends and win money.
Woo! Welcome back into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. It is Hump Day, Wednesday, February 8th. Simon had to leave us. Coop, why did Simon have to leave again? You're muted, Coop.
It's kind of a tragedy, but apparently Leanne bought the wrong type of orange juice.
Mother. I hate when that happens. Why does it keep happening? Why do bad things happen to good people?
It's an epidemic around here. Yeah. So rightfully so, Simon became very agitated and pretty much destroyed the house. Yeah. Destroyed the powers completely out. They'll be pooping in the dark.
In Texas.
Simon, of course, has no problem with. Leanne
just lost. Just has no idea how to cope with that. Yeah.
She'll have to figure it out. Yeah. So I guess you know what that means, brother. Is Coop in the halls.
Coop in the halls.
Meow.
Oh, let's go. Yeah.
Ooh, bass line. Oh, a nice little bass line in there.
Had to
Yeah,
come in,
dude.
steal the focus of the show for a second there with my bass line, as all basses do.
They come in, dude. They come in and crush. Certain ones can. I think certain ones do. If I could play bass guitar, you play guitar, right?
I do.
Do you play bass at all?
I'll dabble with bass, but it's not my main. I prefer guitar.
If I could play bass guitar, I would just play the bass from Fleetwood Mac, The Chain.
Oh yeah, there's some good
nice
like highlight the bass songs. You know what I mean? Where it's just
Yeah.
like they're like the bass is finally the star of the show, and
Right.
like bass is it's funny that like basses always have that like middle kid syndrome, middle child syndrome.
Yeah, like let's get a mean bass solo in there, and it was just like just it's like
oh,
just
you
okay.
did it, buddy.
You did it, but yeah, like
That's
really
super cool.
Yeah, there's only certain guys that can go crazy with it, like Les Claypool. But like
Right.
his entire, I feel like he's just been making fake bands just to get bass solos in there, like Toad in the Wet Sprocket. Like, okay, dude, yeah, like, whatever you got to do, Les, right? The Chili Peppers, they got some good bass lines too.
Yeah, they're definitely a bass heavy band.
Shout out your favorite bass lines in the chat. Ooh, Tommy, the
True.
Seinfeld opening. That's a solid bass.
That's a classic. We should do a baseline brackets one day.
Yeah, I'm down. I already got some. I got some front runners, dude.
All right, well, we just finished up Weddle. We talked some of the latest NFL news and BYOB. Next, we have Coop. I think you're gonna like this one. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but we're doing a draft today. Just you and me.
Okay.
We're drafting our dream Super Bowl halftime show roster.
Oh my.
All right, so I'm not talking about favorite past halftime show artists, although you can pick them, but it will be a new performance in this one. You were putting together your dream roster. What if you could hand select all the artists to do the halftime show this year? Who are you drafting?
Damn, this is tough. Now we got to make some ground rules here. We can pick people when we pick people, and I think it's more fun to do it this way. Dead or alive, and you get them in their prime. Can we do that?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Because
this one is less about. Yeah, and I think this one's less about competition because there's so many artists, and it's just you and me. It's a two-person draft. So it's more, so I'm like I think adding some a little looser restrictions here might make it more fun.
I think so too, yeah. And because then you get a lot more options there. And now the other one I gotta clarify, like we're picking the individual performers or can I come out and just be like, give me Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yeah, give me Wu-Tang.
Yeah, Wu-Tang just get pick 30 rappers. So I gotta pick if we're going that way, I gotta pick like Redman if I want.
I think so, yeah. I don't know. I'd say no. You could pick a group. I think you could pick a group. You got to think about too, like if you get a bunch of groups, like it's gonna be tough to coordinate like a good show. It's just gonna be chaos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean,
like you kind of want to think that way too. Of like you're trying to build you're trying to create an experience using these artists. So
yeah, but the thing is, you're gonna have too many. I feel like if you take a whole group, you're gonna have too many people on the stage.
No matter what. Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's downside to taking a group.
And you're gonna get the spirit of it, right? Like, so you like for the most part, if you take, what, like, all right, fine. Well,
I think you can take a group.
Let's get into it.
I think you can take a group.
Yeah, let's get into it. Like, let's say no taking like I said Crosby, Stills, and Nash. That's taking a collab group. It's kind of cheating, right? Like, you can't be like, I'm taking the Watch the Throne tour.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I think I'm gonna take.
You had to take Jay-Z or individually.
I'm taking kids see ghosts, right? Like that's
right.
That's
right.
Right. That's not real.
Are all yours Kanye West collabs?
So far they are. And if I'm looking for the most entertainment, I want current Kanye West. I don't want prime Kanye West. I want like crazy Kanye West.
Oh my god, the halftime show.
halftime show, dude. They went. Oh, they better. As far as like the lip syncing goes, that's one instance where you would have to not have his mic be.
He wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's start. Let's get it going.
All right. So let's figure out the order here. I'm gonna randomly generate a number here between 1 or 2 for you, Coop. And it's number 2.
Okay.
So you're gonna go second on this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna draft first here. Oh man, I really wish I had spent like 3 to 15 hours preparing for this.
I was late for the show. I didn't even look at the show sheet once.
Perfect.
So you and me are on the same page, but I have one name written on the sheet of paper right now.
Single name.
I sure hope I get him
your own name.
I sure hope I get him at 2, and I don't know who I'm picking at 3. So,
oh man, so I feel like I can't go the route of pandering here because this is my dream team. I want to create the ideal crew for me. And I think that's got to start with J. Cole. Yeah. Because I think J. Cole is one of the greatest artists of currently alive. I think he's fantastic. I think he puts on an incredible live experience. I'm going to go J. Cole. I don't think he is the consensus 101 here.
There's no consensus 101. There's no consensus 101. And the thing with J. Cole is that like he is such a pure rapper, right? In the sense that like he writes all the lyrics. He made like I'm pretty sure on like the first like Young Simba and all that stuff. Like he would make all those beats too. Like when he was in college, like he put a lot of his stuff. So he's like, and plus he's a cool dude. Like goes to dunks.
He's smart.
Yeah, smart guy. So, and he'll make sure it's on point. Which there is a guy that I want to take that I need him on the squad, but I'm gonna take some chalk picks first. I'm gonna take.
And while you're picking, Dustin said you can definitely take Crosby, Stills, and Nash. They are a legit group who put out songs together. I would argue if you want to add in Young, that's over the line. That's over the line. Yeah. He draws the line at Young.
It won't let you have Neil Young, but you can have the rest of them. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I'm all about adding. I think the groups are fine. I think that's totally fine.
All right, we'll play it.
Tim said Beethoven, Daft Punk, Galantis. Galantis is he's Silver Spring guy. He's from Silver Spring, right from near I am. One of my friends went to school with him, or former coworker.
So with the first pick, I'm going with a very chalk pick. But like I want chaos. I want craziness. And when I think of like unexpected crazy shows, there's a handful of names that come to mind. But one that immediately comes to mind is Jimi Hendrix. Right? Like a dude that would not only light his guitar on fire, but like every single person suggests that this guy is arguably the best guitar player. Like Eric Clapton, one of the greatest of all time, got upset once when he came on stage and played guitar. It was like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like he's just that good. So I got to take Jimi Hendrix, and I'm also going to take one of my very favorites, Blue Jean Baby, LA, yeah, saves for the band. Give me Elton John.
Nice.
So I got my, and the thing is, I'm not taking a lead man yet. I want Jimi Hendrix isn't really going to be the lead of this show. He's going to be on the guitar primarily. So we're going to have Jimmy on guitar, Elton on the piano. That's how I'm starting.
That is a great start, Coop. That's a fantastic start. I know you said that we could take anyone dead or alive, and that I completely forgot about the rule though.
Oh yeah.
As soon as we started, I was like, "Oh man,
Jimi Hendrix
is such a good pick." Yeah, and I was like, "Wait,
yeah,
I can also pick all the dead people."
Yeah, so that's.
Oh man, that unlocks a whole nother realm.
Right. I tell you, if you don't take this next one, I might put them with Jimi Hendrix and just have an absolute like shit show.
There's so many options. I feel like I have this like anxiety that I'm missing out because there's so many good options at each point here.
I know.
And I feel like I'm forgetting everyone I've ever listened to. All right. My next pick. My first pick. I'm going to pair J. Cole with Billy Joel. J. Cole, Billy Joel.
That's perfect. That's the thing with the Elton John pick is that Billy Joel is right there, lockstep.
I was afraid you were going Billy Joel whenever you started singing. I was like, it kind of sounds like Billy Joel, and I was like, okay, sweet. I talk about a guy who's just like Maria and I were just talking about him because he is one of my like bucket list items. Is I want to go see Billy Joel before I die, or before he dies, before either of us dies. And but his tickets are so expensive. He only plays these giant arenas, but he is like one of the most prolific, just like show musicians. Like he puts on these crazy shows.
Amazing.
That's so long.
Then that's the thing is I guess I could have waited on Elton John because I would have been happy with Billy Joel too. That's one of those ones where it's like
that's true. Yeah,
in a 2-man draft,
I could have waited even more.
Yeah, we could because I wasn't gonna take. Imagine if I just
maybe.
You would have been so disappointed if I was like, I'm going dueling pianos.
Oh God, that would have been so cool. I would have been so jealous. That would have been bad.
We might have just ruined the perfect halftime show by splitting them up.
Yeah, we might have.
To have the
duel. Also, the other element that I like here with Billy Joel, which I mentioned before, how I'm thinking about this is like I'm pairing these artists together. That's like it's not just in isolation. And I feel like a J. Cole, Billy Joel crossover would be wild. Just like the elements that each of them brings within their genre would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be wild, dude. That's a good J. Cole and Billy Joel. Is that your starters?
Those are my starters, yeah. And I'm gonna cap this third round off here, this turn with another pick here, and I'm gonna go with Amy Winehouse.
Oh my God! Once we started getting into the dueling pianos, I started thinking about like, what if Amy Winehouse was up lying on one of those pianos? I literally just had that thought.
Oh,
Back to taken Aaron Rodgers listening to Back to Black in the dark house.
Just crying.
Yeah. Fade back to black. Yeah. Wow.
Jordy.
That's a great choice, dude. Now, okay.
Joey said Clapton wasn't upset because Mimi.
I think he's talking about Jimi Hendrix. Now that was a story that I heard that Eric Clapton left the stage because of Jimi Hendrix, but I'm sure there's some excuse as to why that wasn't the case. So every one of these old stories, every single old story is like, here's the story, and then somebody else has an equally, here's why that's not the story. Right? That's every single story. So I believe both of them. If you give me a different story, I believe that too. All I know is Eric Clapton's been kind of a jerk, and that's kind of hard to argue.
Yeah.
But so I'm not picking Eric Clapton. I already have a guitar player. Now I want to take a showman, like a proper showman. And there's two though. If I take one, I feel like you can have the other one for free. So I'm gonna pivot and I'm gonna go with Full Chaos. The pick I almost made instead of Jimi Hendrix. Give me Rage Against the Machine.
Whoa.
I'm going
not what I thought you were going.
I'm going off the rails. Like if we're talking Jimi Hendrix setting his guitar on fire, I want Rage Against the Machine out there climbing the scaffolding like they did. I think it was at the Grammys or something like that. Like they lost it. Like the cops are called. I want the cops called. That's what I'm not like in a Travis Scott way, but in more of like a fun way,
Right.
So give me Rage. And I think oh man, it's so tough because I want to take this guy but I know that I'd be just as happy taking this other dude.
Justin said Billy Joel was amazing in concert. We got Ladarius said Bowie, David Bowie, Prince, Jimi Hendrix, Her is a great choice. God. Usher, and he said I like the Talking Heads. Good choice. I love this. Throw all of your suggestions in the chat. I love this.
Right. While those have all been thrown out there, I'm just gonna go ahead and take Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
I want Michael Jackson, dude. I want prime Michael Jackson. He's not even singing. He's just doing the moonwalk. He's just doing
the
crazy pop and lock. You know what I mean? Like just wild stuff. So yeah, give me Michael Jackson. Gotta have him.
I like that. So now your current roster is Jimi Hendrix, Elton John, Rage Against the Machine, and Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and I hope you pick one. There were two guys that I have that I'm like, these guys will tie the show together. I hope you pick one so that I can take the other guilt free. That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh man, that I hate when you guys say that.
Because
now I'm sitting here thinking, who do I need to pick to upset Coop?
You're trapped. Yeah.
Like, where can I want to create the drama?
There's one, like, it's not a coin flip for me. It's not a coin flip for me. If I had to choose between one, there's one I would definitively pick, but I'm happy with either one.
This is tough. I almost regret the Winehouse pick a little bit.
No,
but
you gotta have that. You gotta, because I have to come back. I have to come back and fill that role as well.
All right, my 4th round pick here is gonna be Louis Armstrong. Louis Armstrong paired with Billy Joel, Amy Winehouse, and then J. Cole with the modern twists. Oh, I want this hat. This is my favorite draft we've done. I want this hat so bad.
That's a chance, dude. Poor Simon's missing this one. It's one of the best.
I know, and you know that he would love this too. He said Carrot Top in the chat, so
Tommy did
just
say,
give you an idea of the team he's building.
I want to know Simon's team so bad, and the thing is, I'm confident that Simon can pick a team off waivers. We probably haven't even picked a single person Simon would pick.
No, not a single one. Not a single one.
Tommy's saying no rappers. J. Cole was picked. So J. Cole did go. So there's one.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah. The thing is, there's enough rappers that like there's someone I'm gonna take at some point that I know JL won't take. So I can wait on that.
Riff Raff.
It's Riff Raff.
Macklemore.
When Macklemore won. Remember when he won the Grammy over like Kendrick Lamar and Drake, and there's another one that like Eminem.
We all remember. Yes.
Oh so my God, dude. Unbelievable.
So I'm still on the clock here with my 4th round pick. J. Cole, Billy Joel, Amy Winehouse, and I'm sorry, my 5th round pick because I picked Louis Armstrong.
Yes.
Louis Armstrong, and now I have to figure out how to cap this off with a solid ringer to tie it all together. While I do that, and I stall here.
Are we only doing 5 rounds? Let's do 7.
We can do 7.
We got it.
We got time.
I got too many people to take. Yeah, there's no
all that Simon there now.
There's no Simon. Yeah. We're doing 7.
All right. But still, I'm gonna stall here so I don't make a mistake. Hal said, "How about Willie Nelson?"
Nelson.
So much, it's like it's all fog machines.
I just take Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson and Snoop Dogg is my next 2 picks, dude.
Yeah, just hotbox the stadium. Louis Armstrong. All right. I really want to take another artist here, but it's another rapper, but I feel like this doesn't really add to my team. Like I feel like him and J. Cole would have some fire songs together. But I don't know if this is a mistake. I'm gonna go Joey Badass. Joey Badass is probably between him and J. Cole, 2 of my top favorite artists of all time. I want to see what they create. I want to see what they create with these like classical influence musicians, these coming from different genres, and I think they're gonna make something amazing. So I'm gonna go Joey Badass here.
What's your favorite Joey Badass song?
That's a good question. I know the answer. I can't, for some reason, cannot recall the title of the song. Let me pull it up. Coop, who you going with next?
I don't know. I was gonna take Joey Badass.
Were you really?
I don't know what I take him, but I love Joey Badass is sick. I love that song Christ Conscious. You know that one?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Motherfucking microphone eater. Like that's
so good, bro.
So good. Dude.
So good. His old tracks with Steez too. So fire. So
He's nice, man. Yeah, send me some because I need more.
I'll send you some.
In my life. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send you some.
So you have 2 rappers now, which tells me I could probably take some rappers towards the end. I need more. You have your Amy Winehouse. I'm gonna get some pipes on the stage, and I'm gonna go with Adele.
Adele.
I want Adele, choice. Man. She can sing anything, man. She's got just a ridiculous, amazing voice. Thought about Whitney Houston in that block. I'm not gonna rule her out. But
have you ever wanted to sing like that? Like just be an amazing singer like Adele?
I think most of us would trade everything for that.
Like, most of us would sell our entire lives.
And every one of us has that one moment where you're like in the shower in the car and you're like, oh my God, I'm amazing.
You're like, I could do it.
You're like, wait a minute, am I an amazing singer? and then you actually like turn the music you're singing to off and you listen to it and you're like, oh no.
Oh God, no.
Oh, wait a second.
That was a mistake.
Of course not, right?
That makes sense now.
Yeah. So how many people have I picked? Jimmy.
So you have Jimi Hendrix, Elton John, Rage Against the Machine, Michael Jackson, and Adele.
So I only get one more pick.
Yours is like, I feel like is like the equivalent of a soda. What do these call it? Like the suicide soda things, you know, like where you just put all the flavors into one and like it shouldn't work, but it does.
It does. So, oh my God, if I only get one more, I only get one more pick and then my draft is over.
No, you're on your 6th pick. So you have 2 more if we go to 7.
Oh, I have 1 left. Oh, so I'll have 1 left in the last round. Okay. So
yeah, you have 2 more picks left after Adele.
I think I could safely get the person that I have going last. So I'm going to take.
Tim just, he said, okay, all 7: Beethoven, Daft Punk, Galantis, Dua Lipa, Joan Jett, Mac Miller, and Aretha Franklin.
Oh, you bring Mac Miller back to life.
I know. Mac Miller's the one that I was like, oh man, that's actually.
Oh my God, I could bring Biggie back.
Bring Biggie back. What up? Kevin said Elvis. I have a confession, Coop.
What?
I don't like Elvis.
Nah, me neither.
I really don't like anything about Elvis.
Biggie, I think Biggie would be terrible at the halftime show. I'm not gonna lie. I love Biggie, but what is he gonna do?
But he's used to just like, yeah, I feel like he's just like a no frills type of guy, you know?
He could play like
he's about the craft.
He's got like 2 songs he could get away with playing too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he could play Juicy and Big Papa. But like the rest of them are pretty ruthless. I love Biggie though. Dre.
Kevin said, "What? I know. It's like an embarrassing thing. I don't tell people because I typically get that same reaction. But
the problem here is
one song.
The problem is that I'm taking the guy that I want. I mentioned him yesterday. It's Bruno Mars. You got to have that. You got to have that electricity. I think he's the one that coordinates the whole show. He's the one that sets up like, okay, here's what we're doing. Here's how we're tying it all together. And he's the showman. I had to take my showman. It's Bruno.
I like that. Bruno Mars. Yeah, he is a showman. Man, he is, and just musically, he is a incredibly talented dude.
But he's great.
Yeah,
the problem I'm going to run into now, though, is that like with my last pick, I want to take one specific person so bad, but I want to take a rapper, but I think I might not end up with a rapper on my squad. But back to you.
It is back. Oh, you're right. It is back to me. I forgot.
Yeah. I just took Adele and Bruno Mars.
All right. Let's see. All right. So my next pick, my team so far is J. Cole, Billy Joel, Amy Winehouse, Louis Armstrong, Joey Badass. I'm tempted to go Lizzo here. Maria and I've been watching the Lizzo documentary on HBO Max, and I already liked Lizzo, but it's just such an incredible artist.
Electric. She just won for best record, right?
I think so. I don't actually know. I don't know why I said that. I have zero idea.
She won record of the year for that song, About Time. I think it is. About Damn Time, maybe?
I'm not going to go Lizzo here. I'm not going to do it. What I am going to go with is I'm going to go with Alicia Keys.
Oh, I love Alicia Keys, dude.
I know. I almost took her earlier instead of Amy Winehouse.
She's my favorite.
Now I feel like the combo of the two is going to be incredible.
She's my hall pass. Alicia Keys is. It's official. You can ask Kate. That's
nice.
That's been documented.
It has?
I keep on falling in love with you.
Dun, dun.
Sometimes
dun, dun,
so
dun,
good.
dun.
She's the
So
best.
good.
She's the best. So
Why do I feel like Alicia Keys should always be playing when you walk into like a mansion foyer?
Yeah. smoky air, right?
Flappers everywhere.
Right. Butler walks by carrying a tray of
Whiskey.
champagne. Yeah. Whiskey and champagne. Just like,
just 2 glasses, 1 champagne, 1 whiskey,
I think that's
both
right.
for you.
They look right at you, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. All
We
right.
knew you'd be
Double
walking
fisted.
in right now. So, damn. Alicia Keys is one of my favorites. That makes it easy. Like we're at this stage of the draft where I don't mind you picking people I like because it makes my picks easier.
Right. It takes some of that pressure
I
off.
should have taken Alicia Keys over Adele though.
This draft's gonna ruin my day because the entire rest of the day I know it's gonna happen. I'm gonna sit there and go, I forgot about that guy. I should have done that. What am I doing? I'm gonna go with a guy here. You could say he's a compliment to your pick here, Coop. The Bruno Mars pick. He was also in last year's halftime show. He wasn't the main feature, but he was on the drums. He was on the kit. I'm gonna go with Anderson .Paak.
Oh, I love Anderson .Paak, bro.
Yeah, and I feel like as far as like modern drummers go, musician, like just in general, if you've ever watched Anderson .Paak or like looked at interviews or him, like his process, wild. One of the most talented musicians I think of the modern era. But he on the drums specifically, dude is insanely talented. I'm gonna and I think he's gonna complement these other artists I have. None of them are necessarily like the instrumental part of what I do. Louis Armstrong is, but I feel like throwing in an instrumental artist in here is gonna make it real fire.
I'm just hoping Rage covers the drums for me. But Anderson .Paak can do a bunch, man. The bird.
Rage is like the crazy streak you have in your team that like I feel like makes your team. And I don't know why. It's just like the weird wild card that really kind of ties it together.
You got all this star power on stage, and then you hit him with Anderson .Paak singing "The Bird" with the sweetness of a honeycomb tree. Everyone's like, okay.
All right. See,
I see you. All right, I'm gonna take for the last one. I'm gonna pick. This is just a pure pick of one of my very favorites, and she's actually come out at halftime show. I was up snowboarding when she was a surprise guest at a halftime show, and I legit jumped off the couch and landed on this basket, and it like exploded into a million pieces, like a wicker basket. And we were at like a hotel, so that was somebody else's wicker basket. But this person that I'm taking here, one of my very favorites, that's Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. Music make you lose control. Put your back on the wall, cause Misdemeanor said so. Yeah, so give me Missy, baby.
Love it.
Yeah, she's gonna bring the heat. Always does, dude. Always does. Go get your freak on. Go get your freak on. So yeah, that's my squad, man. Let me work it. Put the thing down.
Missy Elliott, I'm so glad Missy Elliott is like stayed timeless, kind of like she, like so big when we were kids, but then she kind of just stayed in that state of glory.
Missy walked so that Lizzo could run.
Yeah. Tim said, "Oh damn, I forgot about Andre 3K. Swap out Joan Jett." That is such a good call out, Tim. I was in the car like 3 days ago, and an Outkast song came on. And I was like, "Damn, they're so good." I always forget how good they are.
It's so funny how like rappers like Outkast kind of flashed. They haven't really been around. He's been like acting and stuff now, but still every rapper at every level, whether it's Eminem or the new guys, they're just always like, when they're naming the best rappers, they're always like, obviously Andre 3K, and then they move on. You know what I mean? Like he's always like, they name like 2, and then they say, obviously you have to say Andre 3K. Now we'll move on, right? Like he's just like recognized, right? Like as that dude, he is that dude. So,
Joey said, "Is the dueling banjos kid from Deliverance eligible?" Absolutely,
has to be, dude.
Well, yeah, he leaves that last little banjo note hanging.
Excuse me, sir. Which way's down? Back the way you came.
The only way there is. The one road in and out of this town.
Back the way you came.
All right. So our teams for our dream Super Bowl halftime roster. Coop has Jimi Hendrix, Elton John, Rage Against the Machine, Michael Jackson, Adele, Bruno Mars, and Missy Elliott. Squad. And I got J. Cole, Billy Joel, Amy Winehouse, Louis Armstrong, Joey Badass, Alicia Keys, and Anderson .Paak. Oh my God, this has to be a reality. Why don't
If
they
you
put us in charge of the half?
now, if you could, looking at your roster, I know that we're not doing any waiver moves or anything, but if you could make a swap, is there anything that jumps out to you? I have one that jumps out for me. I wanted a showman on my squad,
Yeah.
but I double dipped on the showman. There were 3 guys I could have picked from to be my like showman, and those are Michael Jackson, Bruno Mars, and Justin Timberlake. Those were so the 2 that I would have been happy getting either one were Bruno Mars and Justin Timberlake. I think those guys are like they can be like the guy that kind of passes the mic, but they're the glue. I probably
Right.
should have only taken one of Michael Jackson or Bruno Mars, but I took them both. If I could replace one of them, I would replace them with like an Eminem or a Jay-Z or somebody, you know.
Yeah, Eminem and Jay-Z were definitely on my list as well.
I don't have enough rap presence.
I had struggled not to go too hard on the rap presence because I would have thrown JID in here too. But that would have been a lot with J. Cole and Joey.
I need more JID too. There's only a couple songs I have saved.
Oh, I got you 100%. And you should just throw Earth Gang in that rotation too.
I love the intro to the song Fried Rice by JID.
So good.
This is just what I make when I get in there. That song is like sick, dude.
This is really corny. Idea is like general already, like separate from this, but it's great. But he throws in these little like NFL references because he's an NFL fan, and so he'll just be like, run the ball like Todd Gurley, and he's talking about it. I feel like other rappers don't as frequently do it, and I'm like,
he's talking to me. No, I'm right with you.
It's for me. Let's go.
I love that, dude. Like the Future is out there. He's like, I got that white girl, Tom Brady. I'm like, Tom Brady. Dude. I'm like, football. I like football.
He was on. They brought him on an NFL. NFL did this like broadcast. This was probably last year. I think this was last year, and Kay Adams hosted it. And they brought him on like on NFL Network, and they're all talking about some big game last season. I was
they brought JID. They brought JID on? Oh, that's
I was like, damn, we gotta get him playing fantasy.
Yeah. Lil Wayne would always drop the NFL references.
Yeah,
too.
And
he has a collab. Lil Wayne, like probably the biggest collab in years coming out for not music, but for clothing. Have you seen the collab that's coming out, dude?
No.
It's bro. Listen to this, dude. They're gonna sell a bazillion of these sweatshirts. It's NFL collaborating with Drake's brand OVO, and Lil Wayne is the rep. And if you look at the sweatshirts, man, like, yeah, there it is right there. Like, if you look at some of these sweatshirts, and it's like sweatshirts and like starter jackets and stuff, bro. Yo, they're gonna sell a bazillion of these.
So it's Lil Wayne and OVO is the collab?
So it's OVO and NFL. So it's like,
NFL. Oh,
yeah. Type in and go on Twitter and type.
Oh my God, Coop! Why did you tell me that? You should not have told me that.
I'm telling you, bro. Like,
I'm gonna lose all my money.
Type NFL OVO, man. Like, if you just type NFL space OVO on Twitter, these things come up, bro. And it's
like a $75 hat. Yeah. It's like the worst quality hat I own.
There's only like 3 things that I could actually wear. You know what I mean? But Toronto Dave is Toronto Dave's gonna look great in this stuff at the expo.
And Simon said, Coop, same. I guess to your who was your?
I think that was Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys, and he said also documented with Leanne.
Yeah, Tommy's looking at the jackets are fire. The shirts are fire.
I had no idea they were doing this.
Did you pull it up?
So dangerous.
Yeah, dude. I'm looking at it. I'm like, dude, they're gonna sell a bajillion of these. Bro.
Lil Wayne is a model for the Packers. Benny the Butcher rocking the Bills. Oh my God, the Bills gear.
Benny the Butcher's awesome, dude.
Oh wow, that's wild. Well, I'm gonna go lose all my money on that later. Whoo. Coop, good job. That was a fun draft.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that, dude. Do you like Benny the Butcher?
Yeah, I do. He's
pretty grimy. Who's the guy that does the song 1985?
I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll have to look that up.
He's right in the same group as Benny the Butcher. But anyway, that's probably enough music talk for today. Also, big name that was on my list, and I just couldn't find the right time to take him. Weird Al.
That would be such a strain. That would have definitely added another element to your team.
Dude, like every time they do a song and then they cut to Weird Al doing a parody version of it for the last like 30 seconds, and then they cut back to a new song, and then it's back to Weird Al doing weird stuff.
Oh my God, Coop, you just Can I make a waiver wire pickup?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm swapping out Amy Winehouse, and I'm throwing in Bo Burnham.
Oh, that's cool, dude. That's cool.
Like you just 100% inspired that move, because I just feel like that would be such a weird element too that you would have no idea what to expect.
Bo Burnham's thing inside, everyone needs to experience it, man.
It's truly one of the greatest specials or just works of art in that genre I've ever seen.
Everyone out there that's watching it, just know that if you will go to watch it, know that you're supposed to feel uncomfortable at parts.
Yeah.
And then you can accept that it's awesome. And there are so many like laugh out loud moments that it's so worth it.
Yeah. I had to force myself to stop listening or watching to it because it would get stuck the songs would get stuck in my head for months.
Yeah.
Like literally weeks would go by and it would be every day, like stuck in my head. And it was like driving me crazy.
That's like me with like Hamilton. My parents watch Hamilton.
Hamilton was another one I did that with. Yep.
It's that one guy, the King. His songs get so.
Oh yeah, John. What's his name? John.
You'll be back.
Yeah, so good.
It's so good, bro. That's the part that gets stuck in my head, dude.
So good. He's got like such a minor, like it's not a minor part, but it's like he's barely on the stage, but he shines when he is.
He's the whole thing, man. He's the whole thing.
He is. All right, well, that was our musician, our Super Bowl dream halftime roster draft. Coming up, we're gonna answer some of Reddit's questions. We're gonna do some pitching. We got here's the pitch for you, and we're gonna talk some trade values using our friend Peakton High School's trade value charts. You're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. Bye-bye.
Green Screens Media back at it again with your BSN timeout. And today we're bringing you our college basketball bubble report. With me, as always, the captain of our ship at Green Screens Media, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike got a fresh Lenardi bracketology breakdown. His last four in are Kentucky, West Virginia, Nevada, and Oklahoma State. His first four out include Texas A&M, Florida, Oklahoma, and Charleston. Looking at those last four in, any of those teams catching your eye?
Yeah, I want to talk about the Nevada Wolfpack out of the Strong Mountain West here. Coach Steve Alford's done an amazing job reassembling this roster after losing Grant Sherfield, Desmond Cambridge, and Warren Washington. This team is top 50 in offensive and defensive efficiency. It's really been the progression of senior guard Keenan Blackshear. He's been one of the most improved players in the country. He, along with Oregon State transfer guard Jared Lucas, who's averaging 17 points per game, they formed one of the most underrated backcourts in the country. Look, they have a tough stretch down the road here, but anything can happen when your backcourt's playing this well.
That backcourt is rock solid. I want to talk about Kentucky. It's kind of weird to see them on the fringe given how talented they are. They're playing well in conference. They've won 6 straight games in the SEC. They've also got some pretty quality losses on their resume as well. And obviously, they've still got Oscar Tshiebwe, so that's always going to be working in their favor. But it feels like someone like Reeves is going to need to chip in a bit more offensively. Playing in the SEC, it's going to be a tough stretch of games to close out the year. But ultimately, if they can rattle off a few more wins, I think they can solidify their spot.
Yeah, I think Coach Cal knows what he's doing. I expect to see Kentucky in the tournament. Let's slide on over to the first four out. Texas A&M, also in the SEC. Coach Buzz Williams done a great job this year after slim preseason expectations. They have quality wins over Auburn, Missouri, Florida. Look, they've done it behind their guards here on offense, Wade Taylor and Tyrese Radford. But the emergence of big man Henry Coleman has been a big storyline here. They've been also very good on the defensive end. The road doesn't get any easier down the stretch here in the SEC, but 3 or 4 more quality wins in the final 8 should be enough to get them over the hump.
We will stick with the SEC. I'm going to talk about the Florida Gators, 13-10 on the season. It feels a bit more like an at-large kind of team. They're playing really strong defense. They're coming in ranked 10th in the nation in that regard. Still have Colin Castleton. He is the engine for this team on both ends of the floor, but I'm not sure if he by himself is going to be enough. So we're looking at players like Richard or Lofton or Jones maybe. One of these guys is going to need to step up. The good news for the Gators, they do have a chance to build their resume if they can heat up to close out SEC play. That will do it for your BSN timeout. Make sure you stay locked here on the Better Sports Network and check out Green Screens Media on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube so you don't miss a minute of our college basketball coverage.
JL, before we get into it, I gotta make a waiver move, man.
Okay.
It's gonna bother me, dude. Should I drop? I'm gonna ask you for your advice. Should I drop Michael Jackson or Bruno Mars? I gotta drop one. I can only have one pure showman up there.
Michael Jackson or Bruno Mars. Let me look at your team. Let me think about this. I'm gonna drop Michael Jackson out of that group because I feel like Michael Jackson's more of a he's gonna shine in a more solo setting, but in a group setting, I'm not as confident that he could shine as well as Bruno Mars could.
Right. I think Bruno is more of a gel guy. Like, because Michael, if you think about it, Michael Jackson, when he did his halftime show, it was just Michael. Oh my God. Have you seen the Michael Jackson halftime show?
I think I did when I was a kid, but definitely not in like years.
You got to watch it again, dude. It's so amazing. He's like up on this like I think it's an impersonator that's like way up on this platform, and then he just like poof disappears, and then Michael pops up like he pops up out of the ground, like they shoot him up in the air, and he lands like with this like power stance and just stands there for like 2 full minutes. I'm not even kidding. I think it might be a full 60 seconds, but it is just electric, bro.
How cool is it that you can do that? Like to be in a situation where you can do something that ridiculously elaborate and not look like an idiot, dude, and like still look cool, right? Like because if I go up there and I do that at like, let's say I go to Vegas next week for the industry conference and I just show up and I do this so cool stage maneuver.
Smoke bomb.
They're making fun of me. I'm getting roasted. They're like, why'd you do all that?
Dude, Michael Jackson can do that and stand there for insanely long, way too long. And the applause gets louder the longer he stands there. They're just like,
stay there.
But you're right. He's a solo show. So we're gonna drop him. Keep Bruno Mars. I need a rapper. I need more rap presence. I have Missy Elliott. She's a rapper, obviously, but I think I gotta go Eminem. I think I want Eminem just because he sing with me, sing for the year. Like he can come out and drop some like power.
That's not him singing that.
But Rage would sing that. Well, I get Eminem and Aerosmith, do I not? Like I thought we were doing.
You get the samples that they use.
You get all the samples, dude. Well, I would just have Rage sing that part. I would have Elton John would sing that part, dude. Elton John would sing that part. Oh no, I'd have Rage sing it. But
oh my God, Rage singing it.
Well, like Lose Yourself, like he's got so many electric.
So good.
And like
Stan.
I mean, him and Elton John have done Stan before together at the Grammys, right?
They did? Oh, I missed that.
Elton John and Eminem did Stan. Yeah. Stan's amazing, but Stan is not a halftime show song.
Stan. I mean, I'll never forget the first time I saw the music video on MTV for Stan. I was in Italy, I believe. And I was like in the hotel room and my family's all doing something. I was like pouting in the hotel room and I was watching MTV and that came on and I was captivated. I was just like, what is this story? And I was like, this is so messed up.
Made you even more sad. You were just
And then it wasn't a popular song. And then it kind of like I didn't hear about it for a long time. And then all of a sudden it came back and it started the whole revolution, the whole stands.
You were having a pouty day and you're just like sitting there in your hotel room, like morning rain clouds on my window. And I can't see it all. This song is about me.
I was just like, is this Eminem? Is this guy real? What's happening?
Am I Stan? Am I Eminem? I don't know. Am I Dido? But
I'm pretty sure that was the same year because I think right around there I watched the Ravens win the Super Bowl. Right around that time. It's probably like 6 or 7. Anyway.
I think part of me getting so excited about Missy Elliott was the Patriots also won that Super Bowl against the Seahawks.
Yeah.
So very cool.
All right, well. Sorry, we had to interrupt to do that. Very important waiver wire pickup. You're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. We are Front Yard Fantasy. This is our morning show. If you're enjoying this, come check out our YouTube channel. We got content like this all day, every day, playing games, doing stuff like this. We're here every morning, 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern time, talking nonsense, talking foosball. But now, Coop, we have a very important job to do, and that is answer Reddit's questions. You ready?
I can't yet. I need more fuel. I need more firepower. And the only thing that fuels me is likes on the YouTubes. I need those sweet, tasty YouTube likes. They power me. They keep my essence strong. They keep me going. And it's brand fuel for my answering of Reddit's very important questions. So if you have point your finger, and you probably need at least one other finger to get a hold of that mouse, go on over to that like button, smash it, or just daintily click it even. As long as the number goes up, then, that's going to be important for me in my morning. So I appreciate y'all.
You ever think about how weird fingers are?
Super weird. I just watched.
Why 10?
I just watched the Banshees of Inisherin, or whatever it is, and I'll tell you right now, I've been thinking a lot about fingers lately.
Those guys got fingers?
For anybody that is familiar with the premise of the movie, it's fingers are a pretty big plot point, and not in a good way. So that's no spoilers, but
A lot of finger talk.
not great. A lot of finger chat. And Jay saying a lot of people. I will often think of how weird toes are. Toes are weird as well.
Yeah, especially when they get all weird shaped. Very odd. Doesn't make any sense. Same with nails. Don't go down that rabbit hole, JL. Pull yourself out of it. All right, Coop.
Let's go back.
Reddit has some very important question for us, and I think we need to start here. Oh, we already answered that one. Whoops. What were the dumbest lies you believed as a kid?
What were the dumbest lies I believed as a kid?
I have one. I believe my dad, when he told me the story about when he was on his work, he got back from his work trip, and he told me the story about how he was laying in his bed in his hotel room and an alligator crawled out of the toilet, because that's what alligators do in Florida. And it climbed out of his toilet, and he woke up and the alligator was in the corner of the room. He was like, oh my God, it's just hissing at him. So he gets up and he wrestles the alligator. He's like wrestling around with it, puts it in a chokehold, and he brought me back like the taxiderm alligator head that he got in Florida. And I brought that shit to show and tell the next day. And I told my whole class. They laughed at my ass.
Oh,
they were like, your dad didn't wrestle no alligator, bro. And I'm like,
jerks,
what?
Dude.
You telling me you calling my dad a liar right now? And they're like, yeah, I'm calling your dad a liar. And I'm like,
Dad.
Is my dad a liar right now?
Dads are definitely liars, dude. There's no question about it. And not even on purpose either. It's just like they think they know. So they'll just tell you whatever. And you just believe that for the longest time.
Right. He's sitting there chuckling. He's like, haha, like this is a funny story. I'm gonna pull one over on him. Meanwhile, he's just inflicting trauma, just emotional trauma.
Yeah. Well, I had something similar. It was actually told to me on my behalf, right? But then eventually
you on your behalf, like someone was like, "Hey, Coop told me to tell you something."
No, so I'll explain. I'll explain. It was a lie that was told to me to my benefit, but at a certain point, it was revealed to me that it wasn't true. At which case, I did look stupid very briefly. But so when I was a kid, as kids do, I went through a phase where I just decided I don't like eggs, right? Like I just decided like I'm not eating eggs, and I also decided that I'm not eating anything with eggs in it, which was like if I saw my mom cooking something and she like cracked an egg, I'd be like, no. I'm like, I'm not eating that. I'm like, I'm not eating that. I'm like, that's gross, right? And the thing was, I liked eggs before.
Different, Ma.
It was something that happened where I was just like, I'm not going to eat eggs, right? So at one point, my sister told me that I believe it was my sister, but somebody told me that there were eggs in bagels in the recipes. So I'm like trying to figure out what to eat for breakfast. And now during this very brief phase, I was not eating eggs. And then I was like, to my mom, I was like, I'm not eating bagels because there's eggs in there. And she convinced me that there are no eggs in bagels. To which point I was like, okay, like I'm convinced now. And then somewhere later in my life, I got into a big argument where I was like, there are no eggs in bagels. And this is why I know that to be true. And then we looked it up and there are eggs in bagels. And I was like, she lied to me. She straight up lied to me. Right? She lied to me to get me to eat those eggs. She get me to eat eggs against my will. Unbelievable, right? But the thing is, now I love eggs. There's like not even a style of egg I don't like eating. But during that brief period,
Benedict?
I'll eat a Benedict, yeah. Load it up with the béarnaise sauce or not, dude. I don't even care, dude. Fire me up. But like, that's the thing.
What's the one that I used to have in high school randomly? It was it's the one where you cut into it and the yolk kind of comes out, but the I can't remember.
I know what you're talking about. It's the somebody in the chat will know.
Yeah.
No, of course, sunny side up, Tommy.
It's not sunny side up. It's like wrapped together. It's almost like a fried egg. Anyway,
I know what you're talking about though. But yeah, so during a brief period, I was lied to about the contents of bagels, but I love bagels. So like it was for my benefit for that brief period. But it did come back to bite me because nobody stopped and came back and said, hey, by the way, dummy, I just told you that because you were an idiot. And
right.
so
and you totally bought it.
Totally bought it, dude. I was like, of course there's no eggs in here. My mom lie. She's an angel. So, but she was being an angel at the time. But yes, I did believe that.
That's hilarious. And we got Matt Deutsch in the chat said over easy. And FYI chat, what's up, Matt? Good morning. What's your guys' favorite egg type? Throw it in the chat. I want to know.
Favorite egg, Scotch egg. So
I don't even
Scamp.
really like egg.
Scamp. I've seen pictures of Scotch eggs and heard of them, but I've never had one. But they always intrigue me with the look of them. They're like
Related to the tape?
Yeah, so it's basically an egg where you like wrap it in Scotch tape.
Oh.
Well, it's actually very similar, but instead of Scotch tape, it's a boiled egg that's wrapped in sausage meat, coated in breadcrumbs, and then baked or deep fried. And when I see pictures of the deep fried ones, I just am like, that looks like something that I would really like. I've just never had one. No one's ever presented.
No one's
me
ever
with one.
offered. No one's been kind enough to offer you a Scotch egg.
No, never. Wow. And I'm just waiting. So, listeners out there, Ani Coop, if you're listening, I know it's a little early for my birthday, May 31st, but
if you love
me,
Coop,
you would buy a Scotch egg now and then give it to me on May 31st.
Yeah.
Oh.
Matt said egg in the hole, aka Rocky Mountain toast.
So
where you cut a hole in toast, drop the egg in the middle, and fry over easy.
See, we just call those toast holes, but I love
toast holes.
Toast holes are so
Humans
good.
Are wild.
Toast holes are so dope because you cut them, you fry the egg, you leave the egg drippy, right? And then you take the hole you cut out and you also fry that, and then you dip that into the.
How do you fry a hole?
That's a secret of the universe. Stephen Hawking actually figured it out during his studies on black holes. He figured out how to fry a hole. Yeah,
quantum entanglement and the fry hole theory. Yes,
I could get quantum entanglement. I've been on a diet, so I could definitely get.
I could totally entangle.
I could get quantum entangled with some fried bread, and I just put syrup over the whole thing, just over the bread, over the whole deal. Yeah, I get
the whole.
Over the hole, yeah. You put syrup in the hole and you fry it.
Mm-hmm.
Quantum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Jay said, "What about Rocky Mountain oysters? Is it the same thing, just oyster instead of an egg?"
Do you know what a Rocky Mountain oyster is, JL?
Nope.
Google it.
Nope.
Let's just say it's not an oyster. It's not an egg.
That's fair. I'm not going to Google that.
It's part of a part of a bowl.
Till later.
It's a bull's oysters, if you will.
Ah, I see. Well, with any other dumb lies, the dumbest lies that you believe when you were a kid, Coop?
Nah, that's about it. I mean, there probably were a ton. It's just it's on the spot stuff. Can you think of any other ones? Chat, you got any other ones that you believed?
Yeah, definitely throw in any of the dumbest lies you believe when you were a kid. I know there's a bunch. Like I'm gonna kick myself later because I know how stupid I am. But I can't think of them right now.
Look at the chat. Dustin, JL, Scampers. I must have said Google it too many times.
Oh, Mr. Scampers. Good morning, Mr. Scamps.
Scamp.
I mentioned the Scotch egg, but did not say good morning. And Dustin said, my sister told me that if you swallow gum, it sticks to your heart. And if you swallow too much of it, you die.
Jeez.
I also heard that one. I also heard the swallow gum one. Yeah, and actually not that. I've heard like the more chalk one, which is like it stays in your digestive system for 15 centuries or something.
Dude, yeah. So I didn't hear that it stuck to your heart. I heard that. I heard that it stays in your stomach. I also
how would it even get to your heart?
The classic is the watermelon seed one.
Oh yeah, you're gonna grow a watermelon.
You grow a watermelon in your stomach. I'm gonna start telling people if I'm like fat, and I did like I'm just like, oh sorry, I'm not actually fat. I swallowed a watermelon seed.
Accidentally, you're not gonna believe this, but I was sitting there eating my watermelon, and a seed has slipped right past, and now I got a watermelon growing.
I'm actually in great shape. Besides this,
besides the watermelon
that's growing here.
It's just my melon bump. And Matt Deutsch in the chat said, hold your breath when driving past cemeteries or you will get the germs of the dead. Oh, that's a good one.
The germs of the dead.
I didn't hear the germs of the dead part. I feel like we had the similar thing, but it was like they won't go to heaven or something.
Dibs on that band name.
What? Germs of the dead?
Germs of the dead.
Or hold your breath when driving past cemeteries or you will get the germs of the dead.
Germs of the Dead is the band name, and then your Hold Your Breath Past the Cemetery is our first album title.
Nice. That's solid. Solid concept. Nice theming. Good motif.
We do mostly jazz.
Mostly jazz. But
Germs of the Dead.
I feel like saying mostly there implies that there's something else. What's the other thing?
Polka.
Polka. Jazz polka.
You would think Germs of the Dead might be like heavy metal. No, we're mostly doing
Nah.
jazz, polka, fusion.
Big market for that.
Pretty cool.
Let's get into our next Reddit question, Coop. Reddit asks, what people don't know? I'm sorry, let me back up here. What do people don't tell you about living alone for the first time?
What do people don't tell you about living at home for the first time?
I'll go with one. They don't tell you that there's this little compartment in your dryer that can suddenly explode and catch fire if you don't tend to it.
That's a big one, bro.
Yeah, they should really tell you that when you live alone. Like that should just be like part of the lease. Hey, sign. You are aware that there is a secret danger fire compartment in this appliance that you have to use.
You know what? There's a conspiracy theory on that because, like, you would think they would be like, "Hey, there's a fire chamber here," but at the same time, they want to sell more dryers, and I imagine that not emptying that is probably one of the lead sources of ruining your dryer.
You think that maybe they're producing the lint? Because I don't see the lint when I put the clothes in. And all of a sudden, every time, like clockwork, boom, it's filled back up with lint again.
I think that they easily could make one of those dryers that doesn't catch fire, but Big Dryer wants it's planned obsolescence. And they put in that thing that produces the fire lint. They're obviously putting a mechanism in there. They collaborate with Big Sock and they put in a thing that steals just one of your socks.
Dude, they've been coming after me for years.
They're on you, dude. They're on you. They're gang stalking you.
Oh my God, they're the ones that used the last bit of toilet paper right before you went in.
100%, dude. 100%. And they put your toothbrush in the thing upside down. They sneak in. You put your toothbrush away the right way, and they sneak in. They put it in the thing upside down.
Does that happen to you?
No, never happens to me.
No. This is a bit serendipitous, Coop, because I almost texted you about this, but today on the show we were gonna do a new segment, and let me get your thoughts on it live. So let me pitch it to you here, Coop, and you tell me what you think. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. So here's the new segment idea: we each bring a conspiracy theory to the table, and then we collectively determine whether it's big facts or big baloney.
I think that should be the whole show. I mean, I like conspiracy theories are fun. So,
and this might be surprising. I even got a name for it: Big Facts, Big Baloney.
Oh my God, look out, Alex Jones. We got the new conspiracy theory show. I think we should do conspiracy theories, both minor and major, because someone's got to get to the bottom of it. And look, some of them are true.
Tomorrow,
right?
We're gonna do it.
As many, like most of them are probably false, but some of them are true. And it's if some of them can be true, that means that any of them can be true.
That's true. You're telling me there's a chance.
You know what I mean? Like if you got all these ones, the odds are good that one is true. Then that means it could be any one of them. So the odds are pretty good that they're true. I mean, I don't make the rules.
It's math. I don't make the math.
That's math and that's
Take it up with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Not my problem.
Look, tweeted him. He'll tweet back.
I just look over and I see this comment just all alone and with no context from Matt Deutsch in the YouTube chat. It says, "If you love eggs, check out Egg Slut in LA."
That's the name.
And I just want to screenshot it and put it on LinkedIn.
That seems like such a LA place. Like, you know what I mean? Like out here, people would be upset. Oh wait, it looks like we have an Egg Slut in Boston.
Or like Egg Daddy. There's like a daddy and a blank slut for everything.
Sorry, that was just a comment somebody left on IHOP's Yelp. So yes, what was the topic? What question were we answering?
What do people don't? Oh my gosh, there's a typo in the title, and it's just like messing me up every time. What people don't tell you about living alone for the first time?
Yeah. So I think I've brought this up on the show before, but I've experienced this with my old job that I had, where during COVID my girlfriend at the time was on vacation somewhere, and I was by myself. Is that if you're living home by yourself, especially if you work from home, like you have to go out of your way to interact with people and talk with people.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't, especially if you work from home, you could go days at a time when you don't talk to people. And I'm telling you, the first time you open your mouth after not talking to people for even half a day, but especially if you go like 2 days, like my mom called and I was like, "Hi."
Yeah, your voice is gone.
It was like when you've seen the Mummy when he first like comes back and it's just like, like dust that comes out of his mouth. Like that was literally me when I was doing appraisals. So yeah, if you work at home, if you live by yourself, do yourself a favor. Go out of your way to try and interact with people, even if it's just like at the grocery store or like at the gym. Like you got to keep those social skills on the up and up, or else you turn into a big weirdo, and then you end up like us, just super weird.
I love that. I love to. I do that. I did that before I worked from home, but a little trick that I like to do, not trick, but like little habit is just talking to people like you interact with, especially in like transactional settings. So like cashier, barista, that type of thing. And just ask them like, how's your day going? Like trying to get deeper into like out of small talk, right? Into like genuine conversation. And the results are crazy. It's wild how people just kind of, you can see like the relief, come from their shoulders, or they're just like, I'm doing good, man. Like my day's been good. Or somebody actually asked them.
So Dutch supermarkets, there's a Dutch supermarket chain. I forget which one it was, but I read
Grunewald and Co.
Grunewald and Waffle. Yeah, that's the one. I totally forgot what it was. And they all say it, they're always like Simon Grunewald.
Simon Grunewald.
But basically, this chain implemented automatic checkouts for everybody, and they obviously worked very well. But they actually went back and introduced a new, slower checkout lane that is for people that just want to stop and chat. And apparently, yeah, for chatty Catholics, like people that like we kind of described, like elderly people, whoever that wanted to hang out.
Or me,
we just described. Yeah, I think you're covered under or whoever, right? So according to this article, the move was so successful that they installed those slow checkout lanes in 200 of their stores. Wow. So they now have this slow checkout lane where you can go and chat up if you want. The chat friendly tills.
How infuriating is it when you have maybe like a basket of items, like 15 items, let's say. You walk up and the one not like slow talker lane is just backed out to the back of the store. And then the one slow talker lane is like much shorter, but you got to sit there and wait. What are you going to do?
You just got to switch over there and pretend like you want to chat just to get through.
Yeah. And then there's like the obligation because you chose that line. So like they expect that you want to talk, right? You specifically chose it. So you had to fake it.
I'll tell you what, like I know why people think people from Boston are assholes, because like I went down to Knoxville once and for lunch I went to a Moe's, which is just like a chain, right?
It's like Chipotle,
yeah. And they were like, there's a line, probably like 6 people in it, not a long line at all. And they're like, welcome to Moe's. And everybody in the store goes, welcome to Moe's. And then like the person at the front, right after I walked in, was like having a conversation with the cashier. And I was like, oh, they probably know that person. And then the next person gets up and they're like, the guy's like, how's your day? And then they're like having a full conversation. And I'm like, oh, like these people must know each other as well. And then as we got through the line, I realized like these people don't know each other. Like they're just like having like good old fashioned like Southern chit chat. Right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I got up there. The guy was like, how are you doing? I was like, sandwich. I was like, I'll have a burrito. And he was like, rude. I'm like, this is, I'm not sure how you guys do things here, but back where I live, it's like, I tell you what I want and then you give me that. And then I give you money.
Yeah. I grew up in like the DC, Baltimore area, in between DC and Baltimore, very metropolitan type area, and moving to South Carolina. She comes to South Carolina is not in like the most populated part of South Carolina. It's off to the west. It's a college town.
It's out.
And I swear for months, it took me a long time to adjust. It felt like I was experiencing time slower, right? Because everything moved, like everyone talked slower. It was like I started experiencing this weird like time dilation, super strange phenomena.
The time machine, bro. It's
the time machine. You're right. They do. They just move slower. Yeah. And like, yeah, I think people who grew up in cities or live in cities are used to just being like to the point.
I think they should have both checkouts, right? Like they should have the chat line for people who want to chat, and then they should have like the hungover line for like me.
Oh yeah,
where like I just roll in and I'm like burrito, please, dude. Like, is there?
Or where they don't even, you don't have to say anything. They're like, oh, burrito, yeah, we got you.
I show up and I'm just like,
thank you.
Yeah, like this, like kind of.
Thank you. please.
Thank you, and good night.
Yeah, they're like, say less, bro. I got you.
Say less, dude. Yeah, I got you. It's your order. We actually just keep one of these ready to go for your type that comes in here.
I like that idea. This is a good here's the pitch idea is customized lines like we're talking about, but to the point where like a single store has 20 varieties of lines.
Yeah.
The kids line. The line for people who are talking about work.
The line with people who pay cash with exact change down to the penny. Like that.
The dad joke telling line.
The line for people that just that really like to browse the magazines. So that it's very long conveyor belt where you just
the line of people who do 80% of their shopping at the end cap next to the cashier.
Yeah, exactly. The line for people that ditch their stuff instead of buying it. So there's actually a little cooler there, but it's empty. So when you say oh, I'm not gonna buy these eggs, there's actually they don't go bad. You just put them right into an actual freezer or cooler.
Line of people who want to use 15 gift cards.
Yeah, we gotta have
15 half-used gift cards.
Tommy, Matt, that about the chat line for people who forgot their wallet. That would actually probably be fun.
And have to ask if they take Apple Pay.
I'll be right back. Yeah, you get the I'll be right back line where it's I'll put this. Can I put some of this in my car? But I'll be back to pay.
I love how whenever you say that too, you get this feeling they don't believe me. They don't believe I'm going to be right back. You have to convince them. But then when you think about it, it's they're probably going to be back. It's not that far of a stretch.
Did you pull the old I'll leave my watch here, or I'll leave my wallet?
The unprompted offering of leverage.
If I had a roll, if I
keep my daughter.
This is a nice watch, but not like $10,000. If I had a $10,000 watch, I'd just be this is worth
the
more
Jay-Z
than
10 mil.
This is worth more than your life. How about I leave this here and then I'll come right back? Just flexing on people.
I love that.
I have my wallet in my pocket, but I just want to mention that I have a really nice watch.
Yeah, it's all a brag.
Well,
Jay in the chat is asking that you read Dustin's comment here, Coop, in its entirety.
We'll have to pull open the YouTube.
Yeah. Boo, send in Dustin's message. I think we answered that one there. Any other things about living alone? Coop?
First thing you need to buy is a plunger. If you have one and don't need it, fine. If you don't have one and need it, you are screwed. That is a great point living by yourself. I think there's a lot of those items where once you're living by yourself, you realize that you're a slob. And everything else was provided, especially when you live in a college dorm that has bathrooms and stuff. You realize oh, I need soap, right? Someone's got to buy food, right?
Can I ask a slightly embarrassing question?
Go on.
How are you supposed to clean a plunger? What's the procedure after using a plunger to then clean?
I mean, that's the thing is that probably in the past what I've done is you clean the toilet bowl and leave it in there with the soaking stuff. But now my wife bought both a plunger and a toilet brush that have a special there's a case that you put it in next to the toilet that has stuff. But
it has a cleaner in that, because all the ones that I've had, they don't have that. They have, some of them have had a holder, but it's just a plastic holder.
So the one that
gets disgusting.
The one that she got, we've actually since upgraded from this. The one that she had before had this thing where it's there's sanitary stuff in there that you put it in. But now we have this toilet brush that is, you have the handle for the brush, the wand, and the heads are detachable. And there's this thing where you just click the head in.
Inspector Gadget.
You click the head in and then clean your toilet. And then once it's clean, you just press the button and drop the head part right in the trash. So it's the
brush is makes a little bit more sense to me because you're rubbing it all around the soap. The plunger is the one that gets me because I'm you're not putting it in soap. You're using that bad boy when there's a clog.
Tommy always gives us the man answer here. You flush and then you dip, and then you flush, then dip, then let it dry.
Dip and let it dry. Just let it all dry on there. Not my problem.
Give it a quick dip. I think that's pretty reasonable.
I feel like I am not any closer to knowing how to clean my plunger, but That is definitely something they do not tell you about living alone for the first time.
Scott says they should make reusable plungers. I'm sick of buying a new one after each use. Honestly, though,
landfills in Minnesota that's just filled with plungers.
Honestly, though, I'm definitely the kind of person that washes my hand too many times a day, and if I could get away with throwing the plunger away every time, I would. Yeah, but I think the answer to your question, JL, is that you only use the plunger in the toilet. So you just kind of live with the idea that this is a toilet thing now. It's like washing it's like washing the inside of your toilet. Like, yes, you do your best to make it clean, but like that that's still an inside of the toilet situation.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, the problem is taking it then out of the toilet and putting it next to you and just like as if it's a decoration.
Yeah. Just dip it in the kitchen sink and then put it in your bed to dry. Like, is that what everybody does?
Jay said you put it in the dishwasher with all your dishes.
Put it in the dishwasher, and then you put it back under your pillow.
Skavish asked, "Do you not have a laundry basin?"
What's that?
I honestly I don't really know what the word basin means. It sounds like a type of like a body of water.
It sounds
like in Egypt.
Yeah, like the silty deposits of like the Nile River.
The Nile Basin, yeah.
The Nile Basin. So is that what you're talking about, Scott?
I do have a weird sink thing next to my washer dryer downstairs, but I've never once used it. And there's a dead spider in there that scares me.
It's not the dead ones that scare me.
It's the ones that are living dead.
I had a spider in my shower that was like up in the corner and he wasn't bothering anybody.
But you stare.
I stare. I check him out. I make sure he's still there every time. But like he was kind of like my little spider friend. But then he got eaten by a bigger spider.
How'd you know? Did you watch him get eaten, or did you just assume because he was gone?
He was eaten, and there was another.
How do you? Why are you so confident?
Because he was still technically there with the other bigger.
Oh no!
Yeah. So
and there was just so you look over this. Your now spider friend is dead next to the spider that murdered him.
I know. Right. It's like now I'm not sure if I can be friends with this new guy. He seems kind
I don't know if we're compatible.
He seems kind of mean. He was pretty mean to my old friend, know.
I invested so much in my last relationship. I don't want to just move on so quick.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like I don't know. I know my old friend was probably mean to other bugs too, though. So it's like I kind of want to give this guy a chance.
That's fair. Not casting judgment too quickly. It's a good friend, Coop. It's a good friend you are.
Scamper's got it. He says a basin is a large, glorious plains animal.
Plains animal.
Yeah. So if you have a basin available to kind of rub your plunger on and you use his glorious fur to clean off your plunger, then yeah, of course. But Scott, you live in Minnesota. Out this way, we don't have a lot of basins. We don't have a lot of large animals. So it's kind of tough for us here.
Yeah.
Unless we just have spider friends.
Just spider friends who die. And abandon us.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to figure out what I'm gonna do with this new guy. He seems all right. He's been there for a year.
What's his name? For a year. Still jury's still out on that one, I guess. On his personality.
His name is Charlotte too.
Charlotte too. So you named the first spider Charlotte. That makes sense. And then he ate him, so he's Charlotte too. I'm following your reasoning.
Now he's living in Charlotte's Web.
Charlotte's one web.
Charlotte's
his wife.
But it's Charlotte's with an S and then the apostrophe after the S because there's two Charlottes.
One of them's dead.
Two Charlottes in it. We keep the grammar pretty tight around here.
Yeah, we do. Grammar jokes, that's our right in our wheelhouse, our forte.
Bread and butter.
Our brisket butter.
Our brisket and butter.
Answering this question for Reddit has shown me that there is so much about living alone that we still are so in the dark about. Just have no idea. We are the least qualified to answer those types of questions.
I couldn't acquire a tomato for like a 2.5 week period because I forgot to tell my wife to get one. Like that's how difficult I would have living by myself. That even with someone who helps with most of the stuff, I couldn't handle getting a hold of a tomato. I kept being
one tomato.
I kept being like, we're going to wait until this day to do it. And the whole reason I wasn't doing it is because I just kept forgetting.
That was the gap you couldn't figure out how to get over.
I was like, how does food show up at this house? I'm like,
Kate comes home and you're just at the table with like papers all around, just disheveled. Like,
yeah.
I thought about it every which way and I can't figure out where to get a fucking tomato.
I can't get it. I'm Like I can't get it. But then we finally got it. Kate got it. And she picked a big one, which is bad.
Yes, she did. And it was glorious. If you haven't seen that, go back, check it out on our YouTube. We got a nice little little clip of Coop just having to power down a tomato.
Terrible memory. There are seeds still in my keyboard. I got a couple of
Yeah, you're probably growing a couple tomato babies in your tummy.
I have to pry off some keys of this keyboard to get the rest of them. I did not realize a tomato would be that juicy, and I did not realize there were that many seeds. That's all.
Yeah, tomatoes are highly juicy. All right, Coop. Let's answer one more Reddit's questions. This one will be a quick one. Okay. What's a song that is so infectiously happy/hopeful that you can't help but feel better after listening to it?
Oh, I got my favorite one for this. There's a song I love. And I actually was announced the song at my wedding, I think. Which way back in November or October or whatever.
All the way back.
All the way back then. I believe back at my wedding, this was the song. But I love the song by Junior Senior called Move Your Feet. And that's that one that's like, everybody move your feet and feel united.
Oh, that is a good one. You just always feel like you're gliding on that one. That one's like you're gliding over the water.
And you're feeling the glide part, but then all of a sudden the breakdown comes and it's like, don't stop. Can't stop the beat. I won't stop. Can't stop the beat. Oh, bam, 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 bam. Everybody move your feet and feel united. In fact,
I gotta go. Go ahead.
I'm going to the Bruins on this Saturday, and they always put this thing on the Jumbotron where they say, tweet at us and we'll play a song. And I'm like undefeated on getting them to play that song.
Really?
Right? Oh, yeah. So on Saturday,
you just know that's the easy one that they got there. And they're like,
they got it teed up.
We got that one.
They're like, we were going to play that anyway, right? The only way they're not going to play it when I request it is if they've already played it. So
it just goes to like a dead number or like no one's actually checking that hashtag.
If it works this Saturday, I'll tag you on Twitter with I'll take a screen because they put your tweet up on the thing. I'll take a little screenshot if I can get it to work. Yeah. What's yours?
I love it. Mine, man, that's another one where I know I'm gonna kick myself. I'm gonna go like the pop punk, the early 2000s, mid 2000s, like pop punk region, because I feel like those, maybe it's nostalgia, but they just instantly put me in a different mood. So I'll go with Ocean Avenue by Yellow Card. That's a song where like it comes on at the bar, does not matter what mood I'm in, I feel better because I get transported back to like riding in the car with my sister singing that song, volume blasting, like let's go.
Yeah, that's the thing with the pop punk stuff is like almost all those songs give me the same vibe, which is like road trip. Like we're just showing up to Vegas, right? Or like
like summers growing up, like hanging with your friends,
right? Hanging with the gang, and like we don't play by anybody's rules, not even our own.
It's like angsty, but like not dangerous,
right? Exactly. Like we thought about hitting a mailbox with a baseball bat, but we're not that kind of people.
We're gonna talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Yeah. Remember that one time?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about how sweet it was.
That is definitely remember that one time music, which I
100%. Yeah. And shout out the honorable mention here I was going to throw out was some All Time Low. Maybe a little less known than the Yellow Card song, but some Dear Maria, Count Me In. But I'm like, let's go back in high school. Yeah.
I imagine I know that one, but I gotta re-listen.
I got your picture. I'm coming with you, Dear Maria, count me in.
Oh yeah. Okay, I do know that one.
They're Baltimore guys.
Yeah. Me and my boys
Baltimore band.
Me and my boys always sing that one. It's like passed out on the. It's what is it? It's Soco Amaretto Lime by Brand New. That's one of ours. That's one of our classics.
Yeah.
Oh, Brand New. If we're going emo songs.
Yeah.
We got some good ones in the chat here. Like a couple of them that when I read the name, I can hear it in my head. Like September by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
You remember You Make My Dreams Come True by Tim Wright, throwing that out there. Another classic. Mad World, Party in the USA. Like,
dude. Which one's that one? You Made My Dreams Come True?
You Making My Dreams Come
True. That one, yeah.
Do.
Yeah, see, I need to write all of these down for the stream for my wedding.
Mad World by
Add
Gary.
Playlist.
Gary, Tears for Fears or Gary Jules, Mad World. That's classic banger. Part in the USA. You can't.
Oh yeah, always good.
It depends what, like, there's some that make me ready to party. I'll tell you right now,
Yeah.
like if my request if someone's having a wedding, I always pick the song "Fly Like a G6."
Oh,
That
that's a good
song,
one.
like, it's just like
Like a
popping
G6.
bottles in the
Like a G6.
Now I
Like a
fly
G6.
like a G6.
Let's
Told my
go.
girls around me, they be acting like they drunk. You know, like I'm just like,
Yeah, there's
I
so
get
many
down.
of those from where we were growing up that like fit perfectly into that mold.
I get down.
Remix to Ignition, right? Like that one's a classic party song.
You know what? You got to separate the song from the artist with that one.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like Kanye West, like it's like
same similar thing.
Same
yeah.
thing now. Same thing now, where it's like I don't
early Kanye West.
Like I don't support like his statements now and the things he's doing now. But at the same time, like I can't go back to 2000, whatever it was, 2008, and pretend like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy isn't one of the best albums of all time. You know what I mean? Like there's no
Yet.
I can't.
Technology is advancing every day, Coop. One day you might be able to go back.
Just go back in time. If I go back in time to then, and I'm like, just want to warn you guys, Kanye's crazy. They'd be like, we know. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, no.
Good.
Like he's gonna say some crazy stuff, and they're like the time he said President Bush hates black people. Like I'm like, I'm like kind of like that, but like worse. And they're like, yeah, well, have you heard this song? And then I would listen to it, and I'd be like, okay.
They're like, that's a problem for future us.
I don't think sending me back in time is gonna help. What I'm saying. Like,
Charles in the chat said, "Love Shack, baby."
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Charles. You found the only wrong answer to this question.
No way, dude.
I hate that song. So
How do you hate Love Shack, bro?
I hate it.
Love Shack,
we get into the whole like wedding song stuff that I
love the Shack, baby. There are some wedding songs. I hate. Uptown Funk's great. You got to do Uptown Funk. Happy's starting to lose me, but Uptown Funk, man, that's a thing.
Starting to lose you. Happy doesn't have it start to lose you, Coop.
I've been to like 85 weddings forced in on happy
years of them playing it nonstop on the radio. Coop's like, you know what? I think I'm getting sick of it. I think it's finally happening.
Drinking a Manhattan I'm drinking like my 8th Manhattan that's just one ice cube and whiskey. I'm like, happy. You're starting to lose me now. You know what I mean? Okay.
I feel like Pharrell, like we started to lose Pharrell like halfway through the song. Right. He's like, okay, happy.
Dude, Pharrell is he a time traveler? Because like every time I look at that guy, I'm like, this young rapper, and then I look it up and I'm like, Pharrell's 55 years old or however old he is. Like I forget that he was
Kanye West documentary that came out. It was last year.
No, I gotta see that one.
So it's really, really good on Netflix. And they have like this clip of young Kanye West when he's coming up talking to Pharrell. And like the power dynamics have shifted because Kanye's like not made it really yet. Like he's still up and coming.
Back then,
Pharrell was established. And so it was like very interesting watching those two interact back then because like the power dynamics were all shifted off. And so, but it was interesting because I was sitting there going, how does Pharrell look the same exact age? He's not.
He looks
changed.
the same, bro. He looks the same. Back from that song NERD. You can't be me. I'm a rock star. That was 20 years ago. Over 20 years ago. Bro. How is that possible?
Yeah, there's some people who just like have unlocked that, like Jennifer Aniston. Yeah. Some people just like Paul Rudd.
It's not fair.
Young. Always. Yeah.
It's not fair. It's not fair. We got they're pouring into the chat, dude. Smooth.
Sweet Caroline.
Santana with Rob Thomas. That's a banger, dude. Because you're so smooth. What is it? You're just like the ocean under the sea.
I got a loving you. It's a very musical episode. I love this.
Usher, Usher,
yes.
Now Ladarius knows. Ladarius knows what I'm talking about. Like if you go back to back G6 Usher, I'm gonna be sweating. The tie's gonna be off, dude. I probably will have done the worm by that point, so covered in stuff.
I just thought of the right answer to this question too. Another right answer is pretty much any of those early Outkast songs from that time. Hey Ya, Roses. Oh my God, Roses starts playing. I'm hyped. Like immediate mood change. I'm going. Let's go.
I have a controversial wedding song opinion here. People are on my side, and people are staunchly against. This song was played at my wedding against my will, and I was actually escorted out like before, I think my wife actually came to me. She was like, "Look, we're gonna play the song," and I was like, "This is my special day," but they played it anyway. Shout.
This is my special day.
This is my special day.
You're not playing saying that?
I don't like Shout. I don't like the song Shout. It's too long.
Better boss in the chat says shout.
And you got to go, yeah, he says shout, dude. And it's like you got to go down to the ground. You know what I mean? I played catcher for like a decade, dude. My knees are not trying to go down and just sit there like
now
a little bit softer now. A little bit softer now. I'm just like no.
It is a dumb song.
I go get a drink every single time. It's too long, too. I think Love Shack, that's part of the problem with Love Shack and like all the B-52 songs is they're all like 9 minutes long. Like nobody wants to hear Rock Lobster for 10 minutes. So you have to Rock Lobster. Yeah, there has to be a cutoff point.
I love that song growing up.
Who did?
My dad. I listened to it so much. It's so dumb.
Like, dude, what the hell? That song has no business being as long as it is. Dude. That's a
right,
7.
Same with Happy. Same with Happy.
Stairway to Heaven. That song has a build up. It's got that song can be that long. Freebird. You know that song.
Story.
That's Rock Lobster should be 2 minutes, dude. Why is that a 7-minute song? Dude? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is going on? So,
Jay said jump around.
Jump around.
Oh, I don't feel like that makes so much sense. I feel like Jay's the guy that's just jumping up with his arms all the way by his side at the wedding.
Yeah, exactly. There are certain songs that definitely appeal to people who don't like to dance, and I give them credit for that. One time I was at this wedding in Portland, and they like literally the wedding ended, and they're like time for the reception, and they immediately went into like electronic music. It was like which I love that stuff, but like the older people there were just like they didn't know what to do.
Had no
idea. They were just like
sitting
in the corner. So I actually went over to like later on. I went over to them and I'm like, look, I'm going to the DJ. I'm playing some music that you guys want. I'm like, what do you want, dude? And they literally
they were like lobbying the room, like working the room with you.
Oh, I grabbed the older guy. I was like, what do you guys want? Hey, I was like, I'm gonna go tell this guy now, right? So
I'm gonna go advocate on your behalf.
I'm not kidding. They're like huddled up, like with their heads down in the middle, and they were like whispering to each other. Like,
all right, we got it.
You know, a guy like grabs another dude by the shirt. He's like kicking him. He's like, no, I want this one, right? But then they finally turned around and they said, here are our demands. I was like, what do you got? They said, Elton John, Crocodile Rock. And everyone, they looked around the circle. Everyone nodded. They were like, yeah. And then I was like, you have another one? They were like, My Sharona. And I was like, all right. So I still have a note in my phone that says Crocodile Rock and My Sharona. And I went to the DJ and I was like, you're playing these for those people over there. And he looked over and they were all just like,
they all had their shades on.
They were all just like, yeah. One of them was like got like a butterfly knife. He's like swinging a chain. You know, these like 70-year-old, you know, like the whole grandparent crew. But sure enough, dude, the guy put those songs on and they took over the party to the point where I think the DJ realized, like, hey, you know what? Like, we can play a little more than this stuff. So
yeah, my cousin had his wedding in Cincinnati a couple months ago, and that band nailed it. They had the perfect blend of like older songs to appeal to some of that, but then like also mixing in like some Lizzos, and it just got the energy going. You know, where like the older people didn't feel as like isolated, but either did the younger crowd.
You gotta have a good mix, man. Gotta have a good mix. But Darius, dude, the electric slide, bro.
That song.
Yeah, my wife and my sister have figured out that not only can you do the electric slide, but you can do the electric slide to like any song. So their whole joke is that they'll just do the electric slide to every song. And I'm just like, please stop.
Please.
Enough.
Well, I think Coop, we answered all Reddit's questions. Well done, my friend.
Yeah, that was a good one.
We made it back to music.
That's a very musical show, dude. I mean, but that's the thing. When Simon leaves, it's Coop and the Hogs, dude. We do it every
Coop and the Hogs.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we have like a sound. That's what it was. Coop and the Hogs.
Well, dude, Simon's been too consistently being on the show. I think that's why the Hogs haven't been loose. The Hogs haven't been able to run hog wild in a bit. Talk a little tunes. You know?
First Coop and the Hogs of the off season. Pretty good. Charles in here said DJ Jazzy Coop. I like that.
Sometimes you gotta slide in and protect the old folk.
That's a little catchier than Coupe Fiasco, maybe.
Should I change my Twitter handle?
Yes.
All right, I'll do it.
DJ Jazzy Coop. And then that's it.
I think that's fair.
All right. We got some Here's the Pitch coming up. We also got a little trade values we're going to talk using Alex, our good buddy Peakton High School's trade value charts. Coop, you got a Here's the Pitch ready for us?
What are we doing? What's Here's the Pitch?
The pitch, Here's the Pitch. We got to pitch an idea.
Oh,
like a movie idea, mention.
Oh, yes. I think you might have to go first.
I'll go first. We got all that coming up here. Stay here with us. Listen to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on the Better Sports Network.
Better Sports Network is sponsored by Lucra.
Now being joined by Dylan Robbins, the CEO of Lucra.
Lucra is a unique new platform, but it really has a basis and a very simple idea is that we think that people want to bet with their friends, right? Our product is built off the fact that the casual fan is at the bar or at their buddy's house and they're putting $5 on the game and they're doing it on Venmo. And I think that there's a huge opportunity to open the market up to all these casual fans. A lot of people who feel boxed out by the traditional sports books because they're too complicated or there's complex jargon. They don't understand the lines or the spreads. And so Lucra's goal is to just make it simple. And our favorite way of doing that is we just connect you directly with your friends. So it's a social platform. It's peer-to-peer. We're not the house. We don't take any risk on these wagers. We just are a marketplace to kind of connect you with your friends directly to engage. So it started as just a business for sports. We've expanded outside of sports now. We offer 150 recreational games from cornhole to beer pong to darts to Weddle to Peloton, you name it. You can challenge your friends now on Lucra. And you've got all the gaming and tracking and stats and leaderboards to go with it to make it fun. So it's a bit about what we do, and excited to chat with you guys about it today.
What's the future growth of Lucra?
Good question. I think for us, it's really the expansion outside of sports. I think that we've proven that sports is a great model. We've got a ton of great customers who love our sports product, but we're really paving the way or really innovating on this recreational game side of our business as we think about all these unique categories and areas where people are competing. Spike ball, pickleball, all these things that are blowing up across the globe right now. Lucra is the first real way where people can bet with their friends on these games. And so we're getting a lot of new customers from that, a lot of brand awareness from that. I think we're just trying to iterate that product, make it more fun, make it easier. But we're going to keep our ethos the same, casual, social, and fun. That's what Lucra's about. Our average contest is $10. This is not about bankrupting your friends. It's not about winning big and paying your rent. It's about the magic of the moment and making that moment better by having $5 on the line. If you ever played a round of golf on Sunday or watched a football game, you guys get it. You put a few bucks on it. It just changes the way you interact with that game. You watch it longer. You spend more money there. And it gives us a lot of time for us to, a lot of opportunity for us to partner with other brands because of that.
Better Sports Network is sponsored by Lucra. Winning is fun, and beating your friends is even better. Download the Lucra app today to challenge your friends and win money.
What's up? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. Coop and I are here with you, hanging out this morning till about 10 a.m. But we're here every single day, 7 to 10 a.m. Every single weekday, I should say. Come hang out with us. We're always here. Coop's always wearing the shades.
We're talking ball. Sometimes it's Coop and the Hogs with these shades. Sometimes we wear these shades,
Sometimes it's some other shades.
Sometimes it's these shades. Sometimes it's these shades.
Those shades.
Sometimes, if there's time, we put on these shades.
Are there any more shades?
Not that I can reach right now without the ones on top falling.
It's pretty impressive what you've done. Honestly, I wouldn't move.
It's pretty much the extent of how many shades I can put on at this moment.
I think you accidentally created art here.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
I just want to fit. This is how I approach now I forgot the name of my own spider friend. What was it again?
It was Charlotte too.
Charlotte. That's when I approached Charlotte too.
How could you possibly forget that?
This when I approached Charlotte too. I put these on so that they feel more comfortable. Although actually only eight.
He's like, wait a minute. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
It is
Something's off, but I don't know what.
It's when I show up with
I
10 eyes. It's an imposter. Charlotte too. So pissed.
Feels like you can see me too well right now.
I'm like, what are you gonna do? You live in the shower. Why don't you settle down, Charlotte? Dude.
You live in my shower rent free.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Living rent free in my head.
Yeah, you don't have that much going for you, Charlotte too. All right, you don't really have room to be picky.
Like you murdered my best friend.
Yeah, you're on the lam. Like
you're already in hot water. You're already on probation. Okay.
I realized during the break that I had turned on that song, the one that Tim had suggested. What was it? It was like "Make You So Happy" or something.
I have YouTube. I have like 10 YouTubes open right now.
You make my dreams. You make my dreams come true. That one, and it had been playing on repeat for the last 30 minutes.
So you're feeling pretty good.
Feeling pretty good. Also, I had this page up from the OVO NFL collab, Coop. They have mini helmets.
What?
Which is sick. I did not realize they had mini helmets.
Honestly, the best place to get signed mini helmets, if you're looking for a great deal on them, is the Better Sports Network page, where you can go in. There's a number of them available. Mini helmets, autographed jerseys. Like this is quite a few. I haven't counted. I don't know, Tommy. How many friggin' helmets we got up there, dude? Like Tommy is an amazing procurer of fine memorabilia. So there's quite hundreds of jerseys on there. CD Lamb, Refrigerator Perry, Dante Culpepper. Like we got current guys, throwback guys. So jump in there, get after it. You want a little Tyree Kelly, you want a little Jim Kelly. Every once in a while we give them away on the show too. It's been a while since we've done a giveaway. Let's give some away in a little bit. What do you think?
I'm down for that.
Maybe after the Super Bowl, before the Super Bowl, we'll see.
I was thinking I moved a little bit. I told you guys before Christmas how I need to get a Jaguars jersey. I've been feeling that urge, that I feel compelled. I need to get either a Trevor Lawrence, ETN jersey, something. And I was watching NFL Network yesterday. I was watching Total Access, and they had Trevor Lawrence mic'd up, and it was cracking me up, Coop. He was being such a goofball on the field. Like some defender was like, giving him shit, sitting there talking shit, and he's like, he gets tackled by the guy, and he's like, sorry, 58. He's like, I just like it when you hit me. I'm weird like that. Just sitting there messing with, like, trolling these defensive players. And then Maria was like, is he in his bathroom? And I look up and he's got like the shower in his back. He's sitting on his toilet doing an NFL Network interview.
Yes, dude. Okay. It's got to be Trevor Lawrence, man. It's got to be.
I feel like it's got to be Trevor.
He's under contract for 2 more years, plus they're going to pick up his 5th-year option if they don't extend him anyway. So he's locked in for the Jags, man. He's locked in.
Better Boss said, got to get that Ricky Vaughn Indians jersey signed by Charlie Sheen.
That's tight.
I have another embarrassing confession. I don't care for Charlie Sheen.
No, I don't think that's embarrassing.
It's not unpopular.
Well, he kind of tanked his reputation a little bit. You know what I mean? Even
before that, though.
Even before that, yeah.
Nah.
In that case, he is a child of nepotism.
That's true.
Father, an excellent actor, but I think he's a fine actor himself. It just kind of gone off the rails a little bit recently.
It's all right. Up next, we're going to play some Here's the Pitch. If this is your first time watching us play this, very simple. We're going to take turns pitching our imaginary invention ideas, movie ideas, really anything that we want to see exists. And we're going to try and convince each other to make it. Coop, you want me to go first?
Yeah, why don't you go?
All right. My first invention. Here's my first pitch. A self-walking dog rail. It's a rail we set up in neighborhood communities, and it'll have a rail that we could put along like fences and stuff. That has like a one of those like ball sockets or whatever, and with a tether that's attached, so that your dog can go out and walk itself, go out and play. It doesn't have to be bored in your living room while you have to do your work, and you don't have to stop doing your work, miss that important meeting to go walk your dog every time that they want to go outside and every time they see a squirrel. Instead, put them on the self-walking dog rail. We'll have some AI. We'll have a camera built into each of the tethers, at the top of each of the tethers. It'll have some AI built into it, AI model that senses whether there's like any sort of arguments, there's a fight between the dogs, pulls them away automatically, puts them in their own quarter, makes them do their own thing. A little timeout for the dogs.
The rail could also have like a thing on there when you attach your dog's leash to it, it automatically senses when other dogs are too close. Like if they're not behaving, it can pull the leashes so that they're far enough.
That's what I'm saying. It like moves them away from each other, puts them each in timeout almost. Like, nope, you guys got to go somewhere else. And you can watch your dog anytime you want to. But pull up the app. You could look at the camera and see your dog, see what they're up to, see what they're sniffing.
You know what you could do is you could put like a little fake bunny on the rail, and then we could race them around the track.
We could.
Has anyone ever thought of that before?
I don't think so.
That's
pitch it next.
Pitch. Yeah, that's my new pitch. Dog racing. Something tells me, yeah. Scamp saying this sounds suspiciously like a Greyhound track.
Except they want to be there.
There are Greyhound tracks. There's one like that was right near my house, and they just converted it into like a really bad casino, where Doug Flutie has a restaurant. I don't think they race Greyhounds anymore. Can you still race Greyhounds anywhere? Is that legal anywhere?
I don't know. It seems like it wouldn't be. I mean, yeah, horse racing feels like it's on the lines. Like it's a little more established than the dog racing, so maybe it's sticking around. But I don't know, man. I go to the Laurel racetrack sometimes when my family wants to go there, and it is kind of a little bit of a depressing place.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Just a bunch of people has been sitting there all day.
I'll tell you what, like betting on horse racing, if done in moderation, is fun. Like going to a big race, awesome. Going to like the Preakness or whatever, or like, if you can manage to just bet
Pimlico
3 times a year on the big 3 and have a little fun with it, then that's cool.
Have you ever been to Preakness? Preakness is the Baltimore one, right?
I know. I've heard it's like amazing. I heard it's crazy at the Preakness.
I've never gone. There's been a couple years where we were gonna go, like bought tickets, but I think weather stopped us. Yeah, I've heard it's fun.
I heard it's like one of the like premier drinking events of all time. Like it's just absolute. Is that the one where they run on top of the porta potties? The running of the porta potties?
Oh, maybe that might be it. It's often a very muddy event. I would say it's like I don't know. It's like a music festival, similar type of thing where the attraction is the drinking social part of it.
Yeah, the toilet run is the Preakness. So that is where they run the line of the porta potties with people chucking beers at them. If you can find a clip of that of the toilet run for us to show on here, that would be.
If not, we'll maybe during BYOB tomorrow we can pull it up too.
Yeah, either today or tomorrow. But that is a wild tradition and one that I've always wanted to be a part of. I feel like everyone thinks that they would have no problem with it, but from what I've seen, people do have a bit of a hard time.
Do you have a porta potty policy?
My policy on that, like a general rule of thumb on them?
Yeah, what rules your interactions with the porta potties?
It sounds like
your code of ethics.
Based on the vibes of your question, it sounds like you have one. So why don't I hear yours first?
I think there's the chalk one of just people who are going to be disgusted and hate them or not want to use them. Then there's the other side of the spectrum is probably close to like Simon's side, where it's like, I don't care.
Don't care.
It's a hole in the ground.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I'll pee in any porta potty, obviously. For the other narrative, like I will use them, but it's got to be the right one. Like I'm absolutely willing to walk in and out. Like I'm not the kind of person that needs to walk in. If I walk into a store, I don't have to buy something. You know what I mean? Like I'm cool walking out of the store, and I think I have the same policy.
I can walk past the porta potty and not use it.
I can walk into a store. I can walk into a store and walk out without buying something, and I think I have the same policy with walking in and out of porta potties. You know what I mean?
So in a number 2 situation, you're totally comfortable utilizing porta potty?
I am the right one though. I'm also comfortable with.
What does that mean? Like, are you going down the line being like, nope, not this one?
You got to pop in. When I pop my head in, I know whether it's one that I'm willing to use or not.
Sorry, just checking this out. I'll be out of here in a second.
Excuse me. I ask a little question. Yeah. Oh well. Bonus if there's already somebody in there and you can ask them about it. How's your on
a scale of 0 to 10? How likely are you to recommend a friend to use this porta potty?
I always wait for somebody to come out and they say, "What was your experience like?"
Are you willing to take an exit survey?
I was like, do you think I should or?
Imagine that's like the only question you ask someone when they walk out of the porta potty. You think You think I should go on?
Yeah, that's like it's Joey at the expo asking Kev coming out of the bathroom, Kev Tompkins, asking him one or two. Like that's just a level of inappropriateness that I'm probably not willing to go to. But yeah, I mean, I'm not there. I know there are people that are staunchly opposed. And I don't fall in that camp. You know what I mean? Like I'm a survivalist, right?
Do survivor.
You do what you got to do, but I'm also willing to look at porta potties in certain conditions and die and live to die another day.
Live to tell a tale. Yeah. All right, Coop, you got a pitch for us?
Yeah, so I've been thinking about this one invention. What if there was a way that, like, if I was talking to my buddies and we were like about to watch like a big game, or even if I'm like talking to somebody on Twitter or Reddit and we're like arguing about something, you know, like who's going to have more yards in this Super Bowl? Is it going to be Dallas Goedert? Is it going to be Travis Kelce? Like, I wish there was a way that I could just like put down a bet with that person where it's like on paper in the app or wherever, and you put it in there, and then
I see what you're doing, Coop.
Whoever, you know, you put the bet in, Dallas Goedert or George Kittle or Dallas Goedert or Travis Kelce, and then it's in the app, and then whoever wins once it's over gets the money. Like that would be my invention if that were to exist. Yeah. What do you think about
Really? That? I think that's a great invention. Are there competitors in the market?
Not that I know of. Do you know of anything like that that's out there?
Yeah, a few up and comers.
Like, for instance,
Lucra.
What's Lucra?
Haven't you been paying attention to any of the commercial breaks?
No, I haven't. Why don't you give me a quick rundown of what Lucra is?
Yeah, throw your bets in there. Little friendly wagers. We need to get a wager on there. You beat Simon now twice.
Yeah,
Saucy McFlossy.
Sauce McFloss is my name on there. I've beat Simon. I'm on there with. I'm on there. Pulled up the wrong.
That's me.
I pulled up Better Sports app instead of Lucra, which is another great app. Two of my favorite apps. And in fact, if you use code BSN, which is the Better Sports Network code on Lucra, they'll match up to $100 on your deposit. So not only do you get to bet, but they're going to give you money to bet with. What?
100 belugas.
The money I took from Simon wasn't even his money. Well, I guess it was his money because it was kind of given to him by Better Sports Network and Lucra, but now it's my money. So what are you going to do?
Finders, keepers, losers, peepers.
Yeah. So I guess the idea that I came up with just now, which is a brilliant idea and a very cool idea, already exists. It's Lucra.
Bummer. Yeah, another one for us?
I didn't even think of the bonus. That's Tommy in the chat. He's like, you didn't even think of that part, the bonus part. Yeah, I mean, their invention, I guess, is better than mine. Better than what I invented, unfortunately.
We got to get a Super Bowl bet going, Coop.
Yeah, we do. We'll
do one tomorrow.
I'll let you pick it. Or how about this? Why don't we go back and forth? You pick, like one of us picks the category, and then the other person sets the lines, and then the other person picks what it is. So like I'll pick the category right now. Let's do head-to-head wide receiver receiving yards.
Okay.
So then,
and then we got to pick.
Then you pick the two.
Pick one
then
of
you
the
pick
guy?
the two players. You pick the two players.
Okay.
And then I'll pick which player I want.
Okay. All right. I see.
That way it's a completely fair how we're coming to the conclusion, right? So like you now have the incentive to pick two guys that you think are fair because I get to pick which one I want. So you want to try and pick two guys that are close. Yeah. So
okay. Let's do that tomorrow. I'll come up with a list. You said receiving yards, wide receiver receiving yards, right?
Yep. Head to head.
All right. Cool. All right. You got another pitch for us?
Yeah. I got a pitch. How about
Better Boss said Justin Watson versus Quez Watkins. That could be an interesting one.
Whoever gets that catch takes home the money.
That one catch. One catch for 2.5 yards.
Right. Whoever gets the catch, that's the guy. Yeah, so I'll go with one. I got a movie idea, right?
Okay.
What if we had a movie where it was this island, right? And it's like out in the middle of nowhere, and there's this big mansion, and it's owned by this one private guy. Like he's a billionaire, and he's constantly flying different people out to his island. And it's like they're also like rich people, like politicians and movie stars and all this crazy stuff. And then it turns out that they're all pedophiles, right? And the movie's called Epstein Island, and it might have actually happened. And let's say, right now, this is where the movie goes from here. Now you have this elite task force of all the best badasses that there are in the movie industry. So I'm talking, you got Tom Cruise, you got Keanu Reeves, you got who else?
Pedophiles?
No, they're not pedophiles. So the pedophiles are on the island, right? And we figured it out. So now we're assembling this elite task force of people to deal with it. So on the task force is Tom Cruise. Yeah, they're also pedophiles. No, they're not pedophiles. So who else would you have on the task force? We have Tom Cruise. We have Keanu Reeves. Who else is bad?
What is the task force doing?
They're going in to eradicate this island of pedophiles.
Okay. I didn't know if they were like there to rehabilitate them. Maybe?
Better Boss says Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, we can mix him in there, dude. So who else we sending in there? Expendables go to Epstein Island. Dustin has figured out the concept of this movie pretty quickly. Yeah, I think that I could have just said that, and it would have probably.
Who pitches a standalone?
Yeah, right. Yeah, but well, now that you say it, but I mean, I don't know. We could pick better guys. The Expendables are pretty tough, but like you could have Vin Diesel on the squad, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
John Wick.
It is now. It is turning
into John Wick. That's the entire task force.
Send just John Wick in, yeah, or it's just John Wick and he goes to silent. And the best part is that like you just use the name Jeffrey Epstein because like what is he gonna sue for slander? You know, he's like that already. So you use Epstein, but then you have all these people that are like kind of representative of the people we think, you know what I mean? And then the whole rest of the movie is just like very satisfying, gratuitous violence of like Keanu Reeves just like sneaking around, like murdering pedophiles and like saving like little girls. Like that would be the movie I would come up with. Obviously directed by Quentin Tarantino, but the
very odd choice.
But all I mean, he did Inglourious Bastards, which was like he like blew up Hitler, right?
Yeah.
So I'd have Tarantino direct, but I would have Michael Bay do all the special effects. So
can you imagine Tarantino directing and giving up the control to Michael Bay?
Well, just for the explosion. Just for the explosion.
Can you imagine how truly frustrating that experience would be for Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah, they record. Boom.
I think that's your movie idea right there, Coop. I think your movie idea is you pitch that movie, and then the real movie is us watching Quentin Tarantino have to make it.
Well, because Tarantino is also like such a perfectionist that they would be like, they'd blow it up, and Tarantino was like, no, we got to do that again. And Michael Bay was like, that explosion literally cost $100 million. Like we cannot do that thing again. Like that. There is literally not enough C4 like manufactured right now for us to do that thing again. Like that's
he used like half of Quentin Tarantino's like fake blood budget for his explosion.
First take. Yeah. Okay. So Simon, I mean,
so
Dustin kind of undercut me with the Expendables go to Epstein Island, but that's the movie I want.
That's a good one, Coop. I can't wait to watch it in theaters. Guys, that is going to do it for us today. This is an FYF morning show. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed for Air Fantasy on YouTube. And stay here on the Better Sports Network for the rest of the day. They got amazing program. We got Moose and Keith coming up from 10 to 12. We got Lunch Money, Kyle and Ray from 12 to 3. Fire content all day long. We'll be back tomorrow. We got some more games. Simon, Coop, and I will be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. bright and early. Until then, have a good day. Bye-bye. Coop and Dog. Woo!